Hey everybody, this is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is part of Star Wars Saturdays, an ongoing campaign because I just can't get enough of Star Wars, where every month, like an anthology, I'll pick a different RPG system. We'll cram it in and shave off the rough edges to call it a Star Wars game. Bunch of folks from the Gauntlet community gather together and we will tell a story together. Sometimes we have characters that reoccur throughout the different game series. Sometimes it's a one and done. It's a huge galaxy. It's fun to watch things mix in and out, like our Leppy NPC. She is someone that Steven has fostered through two different games, and I get to NPC her in this one. It's fun stuff like that. This is the third and final session of Burned Over Star Wars, which is a Reese Cup of a game where I've taken Star Wars World, which is a PbtA, early PbtA hack by Andrew Medeiros, and updated it with my buddy Will, and I worked together on this to try to update it and bring it in line with Burned Over, which is a hack by Vincent and Meg Baker of Apocalypse World 2nd Edition. So with William Nichols' help, we took all the core moves from Burned Over, slid that in a lot of the aspects and approaches of Burned Over to try to tweak and update Star Wars World. So we're calling it Burned Over Star Wars World because names. I thought about a portmanteau, but BOS was, I don't know. It's an acronym. That's not even a portmanteau. Doesn't matter. In our third session, the crew of the Bold Devil, friends all together, holding hands, came to Vranke's Hotel and Casino in the Vox cluster because there was someone had absconded with a bounty that was worth a great deal of credits. And the bounty hunter stole this bounty from another bounty hunter because complex feels and hard moves. The Ruvu, the Wookiee bounty hunter, she was in the process at the very end of our session, last session, she was in the process of making the transaction to hand over the bounty to a person who looked very much like an Imperial officer in plain clothes because the Empire has fallen. This is in the timeline after Return of the Jedi, so there are still pockets of Imperial control, but generally the New Republic is establishing a hold over the galaxy and freeing it from the tyranny of the now dead Emperor Palpatine. However, the other aspect of who was there with Ruvu and this Imperial is a person who's wearing a dark helmet and carrying a lightsaber, looking quite like an Imperial Inquisitor. Now, all of you had come upon this, so we should probably figure out who all of you are. Sabine, if you could introduce yourself and remind us about your character, I would appreciate it.
I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I'm playing Sorndal, who's a Jedi. He's a very young Jedi, like his mother used to be. A long story how his mother came to be the owner of a bar called the Mind Trick out somewhere in the Outer Realm, but who knows, who cares. Anyway, Soren took her lightsaber to run off and do good in the galaxy. It's going well, it's going somewhere. He has joined up with Draft Bale, is that the name? No, yes, something like that. Draft Bale, yes. He's joined up with Draft Bale and Varan Hidu and Lindenit to, I don't even know what he thought he could do there, because there are bounty hunters and occult persons, and well, anyway, they are on a ship, and right now what we were doing, what I remember, is that we are still trying to get the bounty on some kind of guy who will be in the kanji club when it gets established eventually in the future, but we don't know that. But
the founding member of the kanji club.
Yeah, okay, but we still need to get him because we had him and then we lost him, and then the person who we lost him to lost him as well. And yeah, well, okay. So that's where we are. And for some reason, I am helping these guys to get their bounty back, because why not? And there's an Inquisitor now, which is nice. I mean, no, it's not. It's terrible.
It's a terrible idea. Why would there be an Inquisitor here? Thank you so much, Sabine. Cody, if you could introduce yourself, remind us of your character.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Cody. I use he, him pronouns. I play Linlanid, a Duros noble. He's a young man who's been raised by his people to be a leader, a space messiah, perhaps, and has fallen into the sway of Draft Bale, but no longer. He now sees the truth in Draft Bale's personality. And he's trying to figure out how to navigate from here. Things aren't what he thought they were, so he's a little lost.
Indeed. Stephen, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character, please.
Hi, I'm Stephen. I use the he, him pronouns. Today I'm playing Valran Hito, who is an Itochi bounty hunter, and uses the she, her pronouns. Valran might actually be like the worst bounty hunter ever, because, she found the bounty, had no problems-ish, but except that Droff actually got the bounty for her, and then she let the bounty be stolen by Tebby, the Leppy bounty hunter, and she got stunned, and then the bounty got stolen from, we chased down Tebby, and then the bounty got stolen from Tebby, and now we're here.
I mean, basically, yeah, that's basically exactly how it happened. Yeah. It's like some Keystone Cop music that played in the background, all that good stuff. Thank you so much, Stephen. Last but not least, our special guest for the series, Alan. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hello, my name is Alan. I use he, him, and I'm playing Draft Bale, which I'm using the Scoundrel playbook. He's a lovable rogue who's getting too old for all this druck. And it is his ship, the Bold Devil, that was mentioned earlier. We're on a planet where he has some significant connections. So I think that we find Draft at the end of the last episode in the restaurant, where he can see all of this going on over the shoulder of Nell Jana, one-time starlet, long-time friend. And he wants his money because Valran just got into trouble getting that bounty. I got that bounty, and I've negotiated a bigger share of it, therefore, and I need the money. And whatever Linlanade says, I was never a believer, really.
Man, never really a believer. Oh, my heart hurts for you, Linlanade. I can't believe that you did such a thing. That you were. Oh, Lynn, I feel for you. I hope, perhaps, that Draft Bale may redeem himself. We'll see. So the last moments that we had were Soren Dahl, Linlanade, Valran Hito, three of you heading in to the casino. You see just past the craps tables, and of course we've got a Kowakian monkey lizards that are running around because for some reason Vranky the Blue, the hut who runs this casino here, he employs Kowakian monkey lizards that he's trained to carry away, the gold press credits that are used as markers here. And the three of you, along with Droff, who is above in this beautiful eating area, you all see Ruvu, the Wookiee with a cybernetic arm, and she is handing over the basically the marker that would give them being this guy who, I don't know why, but for some reason when you look him up on your data pad, it says his name's like Star Wars Burned Wars or something. I don't know. Give him access to the bounty Onan Leach, he is handing over several, like a pile of credits to Ruvu. They are making the transaction as you are watching, and standing over Starward is this Inquisitor who seems a lot less interested in this conversation between the two of them. And you see the red slit of her mask turns up, and she looks directly at you, Sorendal. So Sorendal, what do you do?
I look directly back at her. In somewhere in Soren's mind, a dramatic soundtrack is going off. And he's just staring at her, and then he's kind of, it's not very, I mean, she will see it, but he doesn't want everyone to see that as a threat, but his hand will go to his lightsaber so that she can clearly see that he has one.
Nice. And you see this, like, she's got this, the two-seated helmet with the red slit in the middle, and she does this, like, head tilt of, like, ah.
And tilt my head the other way, like, oh.
Nice. Sorendal's not backing down. This looks great. Valren, once this transaction takes place, you're not going to get paid those 5 credits.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I think I'm going to beeline my way there and see if I can stop them, like right up to their table, address Ruvu and say, I think I pound on the table.
Nice.
And I'm like, by Bounty Hunter Guild law, you have not taken this bounty. This bounty is mine originally. And you should, if any of you want to do business with the guild again, you will give the bounty to the rightful owner.
And of course, Ruvu looks at you and goes, ah! And this guy, Starward, he looks at you, narrows his eyes, and I think what you're trying to do, right, is you're trying to manipulate this to your. So I think you're trying to charm or deceive them to say, hey, you're trumping, you've got leverage, which is, I'm coming from the Bounty Hunter Guild. This is my thing. You stole my thing. So let's see if you can charm or deceive. So roll plus suave.
Nice. Okay. I rolled a 10. My suave is -1, so I got a 9.
Okay. I marked the XP for suave for you.
Thank you.
And on a 7 to 9, if they don't want to go along with your call, or call you out, they can choose to ask you for evidence, time, a compromise, or some concrete assurance. So Ruvu starts roaring, just thinking being loud will allow her to win this argument. But Starward looks, and he narrows his eyes and he says, can you show me some kind of identification?
I think I'm not sure if this is okay. I'm going to turn around. I want to pull out the beaten Letebi, right?
Oh, nice. Oh,
as a witness,
her
basically,
little ears are folded down, her whiskers,
she's got like a big bruise. Yeah, and I kind of grab her by the scruff of the neck and I say, "Tell them."
Nice. And she says, "It's true. I had the mark. I stole it from Valren, and then Ruvu did this to me and took it. But it was Valren's all along." And then she reaches in and she pulls out and tries to flash a badge, but it's totally not legit because she's trying to back your play here. And then she shoves it back into her into one of the pockets on her little mini pocketed.
And I think in this case, we probably have a vid of like Ruvu's ship coming after Tebby's, because they were both in ships at some point. So we can just show that he was in pursuit and show all of that kind of stuff. The little ghostly blue hologram kind of thing, pop that down on the table and show his ship in pursuit of hers. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, this looks like it's all pretty damning evidence. I'm going to check in. As this is going on, Lynn Linid, what are you doing?
So this kind of all broke out pretty quickly once we got in the bar, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Valorant does not play.
Lynn was hoping to get a drink, maybe mull some stuff over. So I think he turned his attention to the bar, and he's kind of probably trying to wave down and just get a drink of some sort, not paying attention to the fact that Valorant took off or Soren is getting ready to draw on a guy.
Nice. And I think one of the like waitress droids that's on a wheel, I'm kind of imagining, like, if you remember Clone Wars, that crappy diner, they're like, she just rides around on her little unicycle wheel and comes over with a tray. Hey, doll, and just serves you up with some whatever kind of synth alcohol you want, because Frankie can't afford like real alcohol. So this is all synth alcohol, but it still gets you drunk. Just
perfect. Lynn doesn't know the difference.
Sweet. Soren, we know that you've been kind of eyeballing this Inquisitor, show your hardware a little bit. She's remained behind Starward, but hasn't moved out, but really like the stuff she's standing behind him, right? So like everything beneath her is literally beneath her. You are the primary focus. She's just letting this play out. What are you doing, Soren?
I'm moving in a circuitous way in her direction. Like you can, like, so she can see me and I can see her, but I'm not zeroing in like Warren did. I'm just moving around.
Kind of like
so,
oh, nice, like flank.
So that we might have a straight line between the two of us, without anybody between us.
Nice. She's gonna start walking towards you. Draff, you see all of this going down. You're up there with your lady friend, and Nell, Yana, she says, "This looks interesting, darling. Whatever are you going to do?"
Yes, Han, just stay here for a moment, would you? And I head downstairs.
Nice to see you like quickly, and we, through the magic of like cutting, we're not worried about if you get there in time, you're there.
And I think that we see him head for the stairs, and then he's going past the back of Lynn. And he says, "Okay, kid, back my play." And he walks past him, where I want to approach the conversation Valorant's having.
Okay. So as you come into Valorant's conversation, Draff, asking Lynn, who's now got like this blue liquid and some kind of champagne glass, it's a little too big. It's just a little too big. It's obviously going to spill on someone or get broken or something. And Ruvu realizes the gig is up. She grabs the credits with her one good arm, and the cybernetic arm is reaching for a blaster. And she's gonna draw on you, Valorant, and try to knock you, like take you out right here and now. Not even worrying about the Leppy.
Yeah, so let's see what I can do. I think I'll draw my vibro sword.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah. And see if I can't stop her from drawing that weapon.
Okay. Then since it looks like she's coming in on you, I think you're going to go in blazing. So let's have you roll with tough.
Okay. I rolled a 5 plus 2 is 7.
Squeak, you get to choose one. You guys are going to swap harm.
Okay. Let's see.
She's got a heavy blaster pistol. Oh no, she doesn't have a heavy blaster pistol. She's like, actually, she reaches down and then, yeah, she has like a cybernetic. She has a blaster in her cybernetic arm.
Oh, nice.
Right? Yeah. So you see this like little port in her hand, and then she's just firing on you.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to inflict terrible harm.
Nice. That is.
Oh, actually, no. Actually, I like the choice of you take something from your opposition. Yeah. And I think it's got to be that arm, right?
Oh, dang.
So she can get the blast off and everything, but I want my sword to kind of slice through the mechanics of that arm.
Oh, that's sweet. Like take.
Oh, and of course you have to see it lying on the floor at the end, right?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So she fires and hits you, and you whip around and slice that off at the elbow. And then, of course, we see the cybernetic arm with like the little sparking electric wires there. We see that. And there's like maybe a little bit of grease and stuff coming out of it like blood, but it's not blood because it's, cybernetic arm. She does, and I just want to double check my moves and weapons. Let me go down because she's doing a heavy blaster pistol. Rich wants to check the damage for heavy blaster pistol just a second because I don't want to overstate it. Hold out blasters 2. I thought heavy blaster was 3, but I want to make sure. Heavy blaster 3 harm, close, reload, loud energy. So yeah, that gets out. It gets off. It's very loud. And that is 3 harm coming your way. Now you do have armor, if I remember correctly. Armor
I have
of
2
2.
armor.
So
I
it's only
took 1
harm
I have to
coming
roll a
through.
harm move, right?
Yep, you sure do.
Okay. And I rolled an 8 plus 1.
Okay.
Right. So that's a 9.
All right. And I marked your XP for taking harm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let's grab that. Let's see. Harm move. All right. 7 to 9. The MC chooses 1. You lose your footing. You lose your grip on whatever you're holding. You lose track of someone or something you're attending to. You miss noticing something important. I'm going to go with a thing that, if you're cool with this, you slice her with a vibro sword. It takes off her arm, but it's not like it hurts, right? It's just a shocker. She doesn't have pain receptors there. That would be stupid. So she paid for the upgrade of not having pain receptors. She can turn the feelings on and off, but once it goes, it's kind of like a gate, like when the pain goes to a certain point where it's not just notifying you that you've got your arm stuck between some gears and it should cause pain and just shuts off. So she reaches down, and if you're cool with it, I think she's going to basically grab on so you don't lose hold. You no longer have definite control of your vibro sword. She's going to try to keep that from you using it to kill her.
So she basically slaps it to the table and holds it.
Oh
there.
yeah, totally. And so the credits are all there on the table, Droff. Yeah. They're all on the table.
Oh, and I did 3 damage with the sword.
Oh snap! That hurts a lot. Like that arm is jacked, and she's feeling it, right? Like it's still gooping out grease and the like, and weakening and drawing on her because there's a power drain there. So yeah, she's not in great shape by any way, shape, or form. Droff, see all those credits?
Yeah. What exactly are the Imperials doing at this point?
At this point, Starward has, like, he's picked up the little chit of where Onan is, and he gives 0 carks about this little, he says, very well, I'll let you settle this out yourselves. And then he is going to march right the heck out of here. That is his plan, because he's just that Imperial.
Excuse me, sir.
He'll pull up. And so, for those who might be watching this, Droff has this like high and tight. He's young. He's one of those like vicious little Imperials that's been raised in this his whole life. He's got like this little shave thing in his brow, perhaps a scar that like runs across. And he looks up at you, and it's such a like polar opposites, right? We've got this Droff ball who's Bale's like handsome, but like ruggedly handsome, worn, older. Get this clean, sleek Imperial officer. He's been trained his whole life for this kind of stuff. You call into him. He steps slightly away from the table, letting Valren and possibly Tebi, but probably not, and Ruvu deal their damage on each other. And you stop him, and he looks at you and he says, "What?"
I wonder if you can help me for a moment. I've had an inquiry from a lady on the upper floor who would very much like to meet you.
Ooh, nice. I think you're trying to charm him a little bit, right?
I think I am.
Let's see how you pull that off. Roll.
I've lost the dice roller.
Oh, let me link that to you real quick. It's going to come up in chat in now. There you go. The curiously unified silkworm.
Okay, there we go. So I'm rolling +2. So re-roll those. That's a 9.
Ooh, nice.
And I look over my shoulder to where I expect Lynn to be.
You did tell him to back you up.
Yeah, he did. That's interesting. If I may, before that happens, because Lynn, or at least I, wasn't totally sure what he meant when he said back my play here.
Sorry.
I wasn't sure if he wanted me right behind him or if he wanted me like to stand up and talk when he needed me to. This is a thing, you know, I'm not quite sure of. So I was hoping I could open my mind and kind of, you know, my whole thing is finding the path. Surely I can know what he wants me to do.
Nice. So rather than having moves trail into a move, we'll
Right.
say you're opening your mind, but let's go ahead and have you roll the help. How do you think, Draft Bale, how do you think Lynn could help you?
Oh, he needs to back my play. It's back my play, kid.
I love that explaining a thing is by saying it again
Loudly.
harder.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's great. So go ahead and roll plus HX. You're effectively opening your mind to read his mind.
I guess so, yeah.
We'll roll plus HX to see if you do so.
All right, I have a +3 with draft, so that should help. I got a 8 + 3, 11.
Okay, and I've marked your help XP.
Oh, perfect.
With an 11, yeah, that is going to give. Oh, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Rather than a plus, I'm going to let you roll one more die, Droff. That could possibly push you higher above that.
Okay, I'll re-roll the dotted one.
Okay, we're watching it.
That's a 6.
Nice. That means you're definitely at a 10 plus.
Yeah.
So he has to choose, set skepticism aside and go along with you, or call you a fool or a liar to your face. He looks at you. He looks up at Nell, who, I mean, fading starlet or nothing, she is dressed pretty classy, and she just waves like, "Oh yes, I'm in on this with Draft," and he will march away. And he doesn't even look back at the Inquisitor, who is now seeing, oh, the fight's done. I'm going to have a conversation with this young boy. So the Inquisitor, she's just ignored her charge, as it were, which is a terrible move. She's bad at her job.
Well, I've ignored my charge as well. So
I mean, yeah, you guys are both just like super selfish Jedi wielders or Force wielders.
I mean,
So-
there is clearly the Force wants us to meet and have a conversation. And who am I to deny the will of the Force?
All right. So yeah, she closes to you to where you are in speaking distance, but it's obvious that it's like the stance that she has. She's ready to draw her lightsaber at a moment's notice, but she
Yes,
hasn't yet. It's one of those like hand drift, little Western like showdown
Yeah.
at the OK
Yeah.
Corral kind of deal
Mhm.
going on here. And she says, "I recognize that lightsaber."
Well, it's mine now.
Is it?
No. Who are you?
You may call me the Eighth Sister. What happened to the woman who used to wield that lightsaber, boy?
I don't think I will tell you that. Because I don't think it would be in her best interest for you to know.
Don't bother lying to me.
I'm not
feel
lying.
your tentative hold upon the Force. You are too weak to have defeated her.
It is not about strength. It's about faith. And hope.
We shall see how your hope fares. Come. We need to speak alone. She turns and she starts to walk away from you out of the casino.
I'll follow her, of course.
Nice. And so she heads out of the main floor of the casino, and you guys step out, and there are a bunch of like valet speeders that go by, and she steps away from the crowd and immediately draws out her lightsaber and fires up to that angry red. And since we've already established it in the sequel movies, I think it like drips just a little bit, because I just love that effect from Kylo Ren, right?
Yes.
So she's got a little bit. She doesn't have the cross guards. I'm not going to go that far. Just a little bit of the dripping of energy.
And I'll look at her and say, your kyber crystal isn't doing so good. And I'll ignite my own lightsaber at that
Nice.
point.
And he says, that saber nearly destroyed mine. And now I will take it from your dead body. If only I could taken it from hers. And
Taylor never mentioned you. And I will, obviously I will go into some sort of stance. I haven't read all the Jedi lightsaber duelist move thingies, but I will go into a defensive stance. And I will still have a very conversational tone.
Nice. So you're pretty confident. You're still like carrying this, right?
Yeah. I mean, sure. That's what being a Jedi is all about. I'm not giving in to my emotions.
That's great. She is just naked aggression, and her fighting stance is very aggressive. And she doesn't do the like honorable touch or anything else that you've read about. She comes in sweeping high, and she's immediately going for a kill. There's no more cat and mouse, no play. She is fully committed to this action, letting her rage pour forth. So it sounds like you're being a lightsaber duelist here.
Yes, I'm being a lightsaber duelist here. I've still got 1 force point, so I can use
your
that.
Last force point. Okay, great.
I mean, yeah, sure. I have to spend a force point to activate the lightsaber duelist. Also,
That's right.
I think it's mostly. Oh well, I'll just activate it. But I have to roll with tough. So
you got a 1 in tough. You can do this. I marked XP for you rolling tough.
I've got an 11.
See, there you go. This was all meant to be. Hold 3. So you've got some choices to make there. You actually, there are 3 choices. So on a miss, you hold 1, take -1. You spend your hold during the battle.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now nobody's blasting at me. I'm not harmed yet.
Right.
And nobody's outside my reach where I want to go. So I'll just keep the 3 hold. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, she's going to be hitting you, so you may need to use that reduce your harm, because she's coming at you. So your lightsaber duelist, you do this at the beginning of the going into battle with your lightsaber ignited. So you've got those hold ready to go. Just keep that in mind. And now I think you need to go in blazing, because she's coming at you. In fact, in order to do that move, she's already slicing at you. So I think we've got 3 harm coming your way right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So you want to reduce that harm, or you want to eat it? I mean, you could save that hold for later if you want.
Do I roll for going blazing? Because I could choose to not take any harm anyways. So
it's true.
If I make the roll,
let's have you do it. So
I'd rather roll first.
All right.
Let me see how that goes. That goes moderately well. I've got 8.
Okay. On a going blazing 7 to 8, you get 7 to 9. You get to choose 1.
Terrible harm, expose or create weakness. You take something from your opposition. Okay, so I will expose or create weakness, of course, because I don't necessarily want to kill her. I will also use one of my holds to reduce the harm by 1. So I take 2, right?
Okay.
Or do I think I have armor. Does that help? Doesn't.
I mean, it should, even though it's a lightsaber. We'll just say that the armor helps, but I think it's one of those, like, if you choose it because it's a lightsaber, just checking in to make sure this feels right. It's gone, right? Like the armor, by eating up one of the harm from a lightsaber, it gets slagged. She's effectively going to be doing the same thing right now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So
cool. You can easily pick up something later. That's Star Wars. So
that's fine. That's fine. So I expose or use weakness. I think I inflict harm as well, right?
Yeah, you do.
Do I have to?
You do not have to.
because I think what I'd rather do is drive her back a little, get a bit of the upper hand, but not. I don't want to harm her. I'm curious who she is, and I don't want to kill her. Precisely.
Nice. Okay. So what option are you choosing? Not inflicting terrible harm.
No.
Are you looking to expose or create a
Yep.
weakness here? Okay.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
So you slice across and she tries to duck under it, but she doesn't move well enough. And so it skims across her helmet and just shears off a piece of it. And when she comes back up, you see her left eye is exposed because the helmet has been cut and you sliced off some of her hair, but her hair is the same color as yours.
Oh no.
It's the same color as your mother's.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks almost exactly like your mother.
And I draw back and I say, how do you know Taylor? Who are you to her?
And then we'll cut away for that.
Yes.
And we jump straight to the Imperial walking up with Droff Bale to speak with Nell.
Yeah, and so we deliver, and Nell does the usual thing that Nell does. You know, she's just charming.
Of
and then
course
I
she is.
steal the tag that will tell us where they've stashed the bounty.
Nice. Now, do you have a scoundrel-related move for stealing things, or is this?
No,
all
I'm
right.
assuming I'm going to act under fire.
I think you are. So let's have you act under fire. She's like, "Oh, darling, did you watch that movie?" And he's a little tentative, but like perhaps I may have watched such a thing.
Oh, that was a 10, and now it's a 7.
Exactly. The tease of all teases. Oh, so bad. All right. Act under fire. With a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall, and the MC can offer you a worse outcome. Here's the deal, Droff. You can snag that, but he's going to realize it. And thinking that Nell is the person who's running this scam, he's going to take it out on her. You can take off, you can bail, but you got to leave Nell to basically, she's got the hook.
Oh no. I can't do that to Nell.
All right. So
I'm a lovable rogue.
I hope so. Cool. So you snag it, and then you see that exit, right? Like you can bail right here and now. The Inquisitor isn't there.
I have a move that says eye on the door, name your escape route and roll plus cool. On 10 plus you're gone, blah, blah, blah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, let's do it. See if you can get out of here.
That's a 9.
Hot.
Has
All
Lynn
right.
backed my play yet?
I don't know. Lynn, where you at?
Lynn, I think Lynn stayed down in the bar area because he's hearing lightsabers ignite. Like Valorant's getting in a sword fight. He doesn't know where the path takes him next. There's so much action happening around him. So no, I don't think Lynn's up there with a draft, unfortunately.
Okay, so on 7 to 9, you can go or stay, but if you go, it costs you. Leave something behind or take something with you. The MC will tell you what.
I think you've got to leave that chit behind, but you can bail because he pulls out that blaster. He's got a little beautiful little sleek holdout blaster. He aims it at Nell, and you go forward and grab her, and the two of you duck over a cart, right? And he fires at you a few times, but then you're out. And he looks down on the table and he sees that had fallen out of your hands when you grabbed Nell. You lost the chit, and he picks it up and just starts to march out. And he's calling into his comm. And he says, Esley, where are you? Esley. And then
You win some, you lose some.
yeah, we cut down to Valrin Hado. Valrin, you and Ruvu are in this fight. People have vacated out. There are security on their way here. and it looks like Ruvu roars. We don't see any, because it's Wookiee and this isn't a solo movie, so there's no subtitles, but it is, I'm taking you down. Like,
Right.
she is going to try to take you down at this point, and you don't know where Tebby went. It just looks like it's you and her, and
That's great. So I
she's
think
hurting.
that what this looks like is she just slapped a big Wookiee paw down on my sword.
Yeah.
I immediately release it, pull out a couple of vibro knives, one vibro knife, and slam down to pin that paw to the table.
Oh, that's
Right?
harsh. Oh man, I really want to see that happen. Let's see. You go ahead
Ooh.
and go in
I
blaze.
rolled a 4. My tough is a 2, so that's a 6.
Oh man, that's
Yep.
vicious. All
Yep.
right. Oh, we do not have the salve of XP on a miss. So
I want to put this on the table to see how Stephen feels about this. But because I opened up to him earlier, I'm holding 1. When they're next in trouble, you can spend the hold to show up in the nick of time.
If you want.
Because I think what we could see is Draff with Nell pulled behind him appear back on the ground floor, and see him just as he, to let off a shot at the Wookiee, just to make a bit of difference.
awesome. Go ahead and roll plus HX. So you spit your hold to be there in just the nick of time to be able to possibly push this over.
Okay, so this is +1.
Is that the HX you have with?
Yeah, with Valron.
Right.
That is a 12.
Oh man, that is nasty. So on an HX move of a 12, I think that +1 to the roll, +1 hold, +1 choice, 10 plus. You also get +1 HX with you on their sheet. So you get to upgrade your HX draft that you have with Valron. And Valron, I'll give you a +1 to your roll. So you got pushed to a mixed success.
Thank you.
Go in blazing. Yeah, that was, you were about to get jacked. So it's still going to be nasty, but let's see how this goes. You are using your knives, vibro knives, which I think are 2 harm.
Yeah. And I think, again, narratively, all I really want to do is just lock that Wookiee paw down to the table. So I think this is take something from your opposition.
Sweet. I love it. So yeah, on a mixed success, I think what we're going to see is you like knife this down. You stab it down into the table. Mm-hmm. But that Wookiee rage, she yanks it out and then slams that knife with the vibro blaze still, and she slams it right into your chest. And so she took 2 harm.
Yeah,
you're gonna take 2 harm. And okay. I think that she's aiming for your neck. So
Uh-huh.
if you're okay with it, I think maybe she's going for that weak spot. Which means that I'm going to call it a 1 harm coming through. So you get a partial armor. Is that suiting fair?
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. And I'll roll the harm move.
All right.
Oh, I rolled a 9 +1 from the harm is a 10.
Whew, nice. Okay, so on a 10 plus, the MC can let the harm you take stand as is, or set 1 from 7 to 9. I think I'm just going to let the harm stand as is. Right, that vibro knife hits you in the throat. It's hurting a great deal. You eat that 1 harm, and then yeah, I think what happens at the end of that, after you slam it through, is you hear this little pipsqueak yell, and Tebby like hops on a chair, hops on the table, hops on Ruvu's back, and starts just like pulling at her hair and her eyes, and just clambering as hard as she can to try to help you out. So I'm going to cut over though, because Lynn, you're watching all this craziness go on.
Yeah. So Lynn, actually, I was just typing a message, but
oh, okay.
Yeah, what I would like to do is Lynn, he let Draft go up because Draft's plan succeeded. And now Lynn sees the fights breaking out. And even before Draft kind of came down, his thought was, which of them should I help? And now seeing Draft kind of come in and perhaps getting Valorant's back, I think the path is clear that I need to be on the lookout for helping Soren when it's possible. I think my original intention was I wanted to try and use that deep move to try and open my mind and see what am I missing about how I can help them or how we can all escape. That is what I would like to do. But having Draft kind of come down and mix with it, the path is clear. He didn't even need to open himself. He needs to be ready to help Soren when Soren needs help.
Nice. Okay, so you're slipping out towards Soren Dahl. So we're going to jump out that way. We follow Lynn as you come out, and you catch. You see that sister, like half of her helmet has been sheared away, and she looks similar to Soren. Like they have a similar nose, and she says, "My name is Esli Dahl. And the owner of that lightsaber left me behind when she ran from the order."
And I step back, and I want to roll in a conflict now, but this is the wrong game for
Wrong game. Hearts of the Forces next month.
yeah, but that would be perfect time to do that. I will step back and I say, but that means you're my sister. I'm Trela Dahl's son. I'm Soren Dahl.
And she steps back. Lynn, you've got the perfect opportunity. The path is to take her out right now.
Yeah, is it
She's used some kind of mind trick on Soren.
Now hold on. Clearly, you already said it looks like they are similar.
That's right. Do you want to read a sitch?
Yeah, well, can I? Yeah, I guess read a stitch in the sense that, yes, I'll do that.
Okay,
that is what I will do.
All right, do that.
All right,
A weaker being who didn't have the sight that you had would probably taken that easy shot. But you, Lynn, you're wise. This is why so many people follow you.
Yeah, something like that. 7. I got a 7.
Nice. Okay, you get a question out of the 7 to 9.
Okay, so the questions available to me.
I've got it in the drop down on the moves and weapons on A4, so you can take it there.
Oh, I'm looking on the character sheet.
Okay.
Version.
Yeah, that too.
My question, I think, is who is in control here between the two of them? Because I think the sister isn't going to take kindly to Soren's attempts to reconnect as family.
Nice. So Esli, older sister of Soren Dahl, she's transitioning from the shock of what's just been revealed to the opportunity to either turn Soren or take her mother's lightsaber. So yeah, she's in control right now because Soren's been emotionally honest and vulnerable here and is reaching out. But you have the feeling that Esli is not. She's still taken by the dark side at this moment. You sense it in her, whereas Soren might be ignoring that danger.
And in that case, I will grip my one weapon, an ornate dagger, hand valuable and quiet, and get close to trying to sneak up on the sister when I see that the eyes are locked in on that saber or Soren, and try and get close. Should they make a move, I'll stab them.
Nice. Sweet. So Esli ignores you. She's focused on Soren.
Pretty much focused on her right now.
Yeah, this could be your older sister. So much the two of you could have shared. And see her eyes, like there's so much pain and so much anger there.
I will. I'm not turning off my lightsaber.
She never told you about me, did she?
She never told me.
She forgot me. She left me and she forgot me entirely. Went on and had a whole new life with you. Gave you her lightsaber? The one I should have had?
She didn't give me the lightsaber, to be fair. I took it.
Give it to me.
No.
give me my lightsaber.
What do you want to do with it? Do you want to follow the dark path with the light side lightsaber? It will not work for you if you are caught in your path of anger and hatred. Come with me, sister. Come with me to the light side and I will give it to you.
Ooh. Let us see.
And I reach out my hand. I keep the lightsaber ignited, but I reach out my hand to her.
Oh, I want to see. I want to see if you could charm her to take a chance here.
Oh, damn. I'm very bad at charming people. Haven't we established that?
Uh-huh.
But I will try, of course.
It's always worth a try.
It's always worth a try. Hey, I've rolled a 12, so it's an 11.
Saw that. I was waiting for it to turn evil.
It turned from a 10 to a 12. So it didn't. See, the light side is stronger than the dark side. Even in roll for your party. Well, at least in this instance.
She clicks the button on her lightsaber, turning it off. She reaches to pull the bottom part of the face mask off, snaps her head back, removing the helmet. Take me to see our mother.
Yes, I will. I think she
Jump away from that to Valrin Hado with Tebi on Ruvu's back with a knife at your throat that is stuck through this Wookiee's only last good hand. It's not so good right now. She's totally never going to play Sabak again. Just can't hold the cards. But Valrin is gotten bloody now, right? You can tell she's on her last legs here, but she's trying to take you down with her. What do you do, Valrin?
So I think what I do in this case is I just do the Indiana Jones move and I pull out my blaster and shoot her. Right?
Yes,
I'm done with all these swords things. Just bam.
Sweet. Act under fire. If you pull it off, she's down. On mixed success, you'll take a little bit of harm out of it.
That is a 5 total. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You do the Indiana Jones maneuver.
Right.
And you fire, and there's a moment where the Wookiee's eyes grow big, and then she slumps over on you. And then Tebi falls to the ground too, because it was a through and through. What do you do?
So that was act under fire?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure that works. Sweet. So that gives me my last XP to give me an improvement.
Okay.
I'm going to take the improvement, if you don't mind, Combat Medic from the Trooper page. And I'm going to, in the picture, there's a chest plate, but I don't need that for breathing or anything. That's the Combat Medic,
that's where you have
kit.
It. Yeah, totally.
And I'm going to pull that out and hit Tebi with it.
Sweet. So you lean over a little Tebi and you jam in this back to delivery kind of injection as you hear some of the casino security. They've got guns trained on you. There's smoke still trailing up from the back of Ruvu, the now dead Wookiee bounty hunter. And yeah, combat medic. So let's fire off that move.
Yeah. Counts as a med kit with 2 stock. So what move is that?
So a med kit with 2 stock. So you're going to roll. It's actually from the angel. So you're taking a trooper move that references the medic. So the way that it works, I'm trying to grab it for you real quick. It's the med kit. So hold on a second.
Might you be better taking field medic from the medic playbook?
Maybe.
And we'll still say that you have the. Yeah, it's a roll with sharp is the field medic move. if you like that. If not, the med kit you roll with stock you spend. And I will hold on. I gotta grab the. Sorry, I did a poor job of copying over the medic because I don't have the med kit stuff there that I can see. So I'm gonna try to grab it from the burned over playbooks.
Okay.
So you can make that choice of whichever move you want. Where are you, playbook? All right, sorry.
Oh, I see. Okay, so basically, field medic lets me stabilize them. So let me try that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's roll with canny. My canny is a 1. I rolled a 4. So I got a total of 5. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Just too
Wow.
late. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Hold on a sec. Let's do. Are you grabbing the field medic move then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Cool. So we'll stick that under your other moves,
Oh, okay.
and there you go. So yeah, you try to help her, and her little like one eye swollen shut, and she's bleeding out, and you realize as you're administering, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And she just reaches out and she holds your hand for just a second, and you see the light start to leave her eyes, and then she passes.
Can we say that whenever she reaches out to grab my hand,
Mhm.
I've reached down to my belt, and what she actually grabs is the bounty hunter badge. And where she passes, it kind of falls to her chest.
Nice. Yeah. You like put it in her hand, and she holds it for a second, and she sees it. And she says, "Thank you." And then Tibby, the Leppy, passes, and you hear from the security, "Got our blaster set to stun."
I kind of put my hands up, and I kind of say, well, I think this is all resolved. These 2 stole from me. I have my money here. Here's the proof. And I kind of play the little vid thing and, show them Tebby's badge. And I think that's the whole thing.
Let's see if you can charm or deceive. I like that. It could be a charming, it could be a deceiving. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let's just have you roll and see how that comes off.
Okay. Okay. I rolled an 8. My suave is -1, so I got a 7.
Wow. Skates off. As you give all this explanation, a hut, Vranky the blue, comes waddling up, not waddling, but like, slithering up. That's the word that Rich needs to use. Comes slithering up, and he listens to you explaining this as his security droids all have their guns trained on you. And he goes, well, transactions, there's a little bit of a fee that's involved. Looks like you got 5 cred. There'll be 2 cred, and you get to take the rest out of here, Valranito.
Typical cred with typical percentage with bounty hunters in a public situation like this that I didn't choose, by the way, is 10%. Is that right? 1 cred. It's 1 cred. I guess that's 20%. Yeah.
So you're basically pushing back, saying, "I'll give you 1 cred."
Yeah.
All right, but you're banned. You're too much trouble.
Done.
Valranito. And then the security guards are gonna escort once you've gathered whatever you say is all yours. They're gonna ask you out of here, escort you out of here. I assume you're leaving Ruvu there. Mm-hmm. You leaving the Leppy behind as well?
No, I'm taking Tebby, and I'm taking the mechanical arm and the cash, and I think I'm good.
Cool. Well, they are going to take 1 of the cred, but yeah, you get the rest, and you'll Diddy Mao. So let's cut to Droff. But should we do bio break, or do we want to do quick scene with Droff first?
Mine's very quick.
Okay. So
Be-
you make it out with
becau-
Nell. She kisses you like the Princess Leia Luke kiss right before the swing across the bridge. She's just super into this. I'm putting this in the movie.
And then we drive around the corner in time to pick up Valrun, Lynn, Soren, and her sister.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a great like capper. We're at 20 after. Let's take a big full 10-minute break, friends. We'll meet at past. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Man, I think my camera went to sleep. It's like, hold on, just a minute. I'll come on in a minute now. There, Rogers, don't freak out. I think I'll change virtual backgrounds because we are no longer at a beautiful casino. Where is that one of the smugglers' ship I found? Yeah, there we go. It seems bold devilly. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, so the last moment that we had, you guys, a speeder had whipped around with Droff Bale to pick up Lynn, Valrin, Soren, and someone wearing a bunch of Imperial garb. Let's jump ahead to the Bold Devil as you guys all board the ship. But I know Valrin probably doesn't want to necessarily leave Adarlon quite yet, or Aladrin, because there's a thing, unless you don't care, right? Because Droff. Oh, hold on. So what was left behind was the chip to get Onan, but then Valrin has the credits. So, are you guys done with this place?
Obviously, the money lost was out of Valrin's share. I mean, that speaks for itself.
Of course.
Oh,
Sorry. Of course, Valrin, I think, just kind of walks up and hands over the 4 left chips to you, which is more than your share, right? And says, and washes her hands of the business.
put my arm around Valrin's shoulder. Just so what's the play, Valrin?
This is blood money. More than one bounty hunter died for this, and it wouldn't be, I have my own payment, and I think I, kind of lean in and, I have like a little bit of blood dribbling out between the gap in the armor and everything. So.
And I think that Draff, who at this point was considering marooning Valrin, because Valrin owes me for having caught my apprentice. But now I'm feeling a little bit guilty about that impulse. So I think we'd see Draff. Okay, I'll take your money. But to be honest, I want to catch Soren's eye and kind of just look over her shoulder at Esley and say, is there anything I should know?
There's a lot that you should know, but in this case, this is my sister.
Your sister?
Yes.
You don't have a sister.
I am sure that you are perfectly acquainted with all my family life, dear Draff, but no, in this case, yes, she is my sister. She and I are the children of Chela Draff. Chela Dal. Sorry, Chela Dal. So,
And I would like Draff to go white.
Inner conflict.
Right. Yeah, and Droff, she looks so much like her mother and absolutely nothing like you.
I just need some private time.
Yeah, I think at that point I'm a bit focused on my sister, and whatever's going on with Draff is probably, I mean, I'm giving him a look like, you're not okay, but clearly I am not the person to talk to you, or maybe later. I will now still remain with my sister instead of taking care of Draff, which is not very nice.
And I think I'd like to bump into Lynn on the way to my cabin.
Cool.
Yes, Draff. I couldn't help but notice you walked right into me.
Just stay out of my way, kid.
Wonderful, wonderful. If I may be so bold as to ask a question here, Droff. Oh dear, Cara Dune is all up in my business right now. Where do we go next? And when I say we, I don't know if I should include you, but
I take him by the lapels, push him against the bulkhead, and say, "Kid, I got problems of my own."
Yeah. Lynn kind of quiets up for a moment, and then he speaks louder and he says, Draff, whatever problems you have now, they are but a hurdle on the journey to the path. I hope one day you see that. I hope you'll come back around to us. And then he'll turn away. Yeah.
Goes the door. I think we'll hear Draff hitting the wall of his cabin.
Nice. I think Lynn will stick with you after Draft like grabbed you and then just charges off, and Utri is there.
Mm-hmm.
The Bothan who follows you, and his eyes are wide, and he says, "Oh."
Yes, Utri. Apparently the elders were not as prescient as they may have been. Draff is not a believer in our cause, and that we left me in his care speaks to me more about your abilities than his necessarily. And I'm not quite sure what to make of that, Utri. What do you think?
Let's real quick. Do we have, because I'm on the noble, I want to make sure. Are there any moves you're hitting to talk to the elders? I think maybe it feels like we've got something. But I want to check.
I have devotion at the beginning of the set. That's a beginning of the session move.
Let's do it. Beginning of session. Let's roll devotion to see what state he is in, to see what advice he might offer you.
I'm rolling plus cool. My cool is -1. A very
nice.
Powerful,
wait, that's so
powerful
good.
cool.
So cool.
Oh, it was 1 and 4, and then it decreased to 1 and 1. So -1.
You've rolled a 1.
Yeah, I got a 1, which is on a miss, or if your followers are in crisis, all of their demands, if you have more than one group of followers, roll separately for each of them. So I don't get any of their benefits, which means I don't have any of their devotion. So it's elders and cult, I thought is what it was. Elders and cult, yeah. So I don't get hope, play, or insight, but they demand protection and they demand obedience.
Wow. So Utri is the kind of voice of the elders.
Mm-hmm.
He says, while you were pursuing whatever it was that you were pursuing at the casino, I was in contact with the rest of the elders.
Oh, really, Utri? And what did they have to say? What did they have to tell me?
He said that that I have allowed you to go astray, young one. That we have let you fall under sway for an elder who is not worthy, and I have seen the proof, as have you. Draff Bale is not one of us.
No, but if I can't help but agree, Utri, but I feel like perhaps you're missing a critical step on this journey, and that is that you all failed too.
We failed by not being here to give you more guidance. Yes, you're so right, Leonid. I will do my best to pick up the slack where all of the other elders have failed you by not traveling with you. We must take over this ship. It is obvious. I've already called the other elders and placed a transponder beacon so that they can locate this ship. They are on their way.
Interesting, Utri. Interesting. And I must say, it does warm this cold Duro's heart in this vacuum of space to know that I do have someone like you looking after me. Even though you made those mistakes in the past, that you failed me, your leader, your messiah. You failed me. And to see you try and come back for it is lovely. If you would, can you go into our quarters and prepare it, make it cozy, take care of Kara for a moment? I'm going to be trying to trigger my incandescent. Speaking, when I make a show, a display of passion, anguish, love, fury.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No one who can see you can do anything but watch. You command absolute attention. That sounds awesome. Yeah,
So,
you do.
Cool. And the hope is that he'll be so kind of transfixed by my discussion that he will then do as I ask him.
Yeah, all of the like you failed me a lot of times in the past, like just slips past because he is enraptured with your displays of passion, and he goes off to help Cara Dune. And
as soon as he rounds the corner or the door closes, I run to Draft's room. I start banging on the door. Draft, Bale, Mr. Bale, Draft, you must open the door. Open the door.
And the door opens and there's Draft with a drink in his hand. And he says, kid, I told you I need some
I take
time.
the drink from your hand and I shove it back. Draft, we need Utri, the guy you brought on board. He wants to take over the ship. He called the elders. He put a transponder or something. I don't know, but Draft. Okay, give me a moment. Listen, I am not a fan of you right now, and I'm sure you're not a fan of me. It seems like you never really were, which does hurt. But I'm also not a fan of Utri and these elders who left me with you. At the moment, I feel as if my path is being chosen by incompetent folks, as the Chiss call skullugs, and that is a problem. I must find my own path. I must chart that. And we cannot do that if Utri and the elders take over the ship. And what do we do?
Shit. And we march up to the bridge. And I'm going, Valorant, Soren, we have a problem.
Okay, let's appear on the bridge.
And I'm flicking switches and, powering up. We need to get out of here in a hurry. Valorant, there's a transponder somewhere on this ship. Find it.
So I'll start searching for, signals and stuff like that.
What's going on? Who's behind? Who's after us? What have we done now?
It turns out that this kid cannot control his own drucking followers.
Oh.
And I forgot, I'm not talking to you.
You're not talking to me?
As Esley will say, Soren,
Yeah.
I think your friend Valorant may need some assistance. She looks rough.
Yeah. Yes, I think we all are, because we all are on this ship, and if something's wrong with the ship, we all are in deep poodoo. So I will go and help them. Can I? What do you want? Could you wait for me in our quarters? It's very basic. I'm trying the austere Jedi thing.
Yes, we should leave soon. I think it would be wise if we left very soon.
Yes,
You promised.
yes, we will leave as soon as the crisis is over. All right, and maybe I can talk Draft into dropping us somewhere near our mothers, or them, or someone.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Did
Valorant.
they both?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So did both of the dolls? Did they leave the cockpit or the bridge? Excuse me.
Well, I think
understanding, or
Soren
just-
might still be there. Maybe they had a conversation slightly to the side, and then Esley will head to their quarters.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Then if Lynn just kind of wanted to speak to Draft again alone, but if Soren's still there, Lynn just kind of explains the situation a little bit further to Soren. He says, Utri, the man we picked up at Pergitor, he is one of the elders of my council, and as we thought Draff here was, of course, he is a notorious liar and thief and brigand. But I would rather not go back into the custody of these elders who saw fit to entrust me with him. I think perhaps my people are failing and crumbling from within. There is a rot, and Utri is bringing that rot to us. That is the crisis.
Okay, so we want to avoid your elders right now.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, cool. Anything I can do? And I'm looking at Draft mostly.
Tell her to help Valron find the transponder.
Tell who? My sister. Leave her out of this. I can go and help Val run find the transistor. It's fine. And I go and help Valron find the transistor. I don't know how to do that, but
yeah, I think.
I mean, well, I can just
trust your feelings.
Trust the force.
Yes, do it.
Exactly.
Do it. I love it.
I'll go and trust the force. I mean, come on. That's what I'm here for, trusting the force. And it's a 6 on the roll plus D2 is an 8. So
okay. Yes, you realize where Valron's looking, which are the most logical points to place a transponder beacon or a homing beacon, is off. That the homing beacon has actually been placed in the cockpit. So you're not sure where, but you just get the feeling that is where Utri was and where he placed it.
I'd probably go to Valron anyway, because Draff is weird and Lynn has always been weird. And Valron seems to me like the person who's most unweird. So I'll go and say, hey, Valron, about that transponder. Can't hear you, Valron. You're muted.
Yes. I'm looking as fast as I can.
Yeah, I think it's in the cockpit. I think it's somewhere. I've got the strong feeling that it's somewhere in the cockpit.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know do you know what's going on with Draft? Because he's acted very weird ever since I told him about my sister.
I don't know. He shouts at me from time to time, and I can't really tell what's going on. So, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go look at the cockpit.
Yeah, okay.
Soren, after having this conversation with Valron, you pick up what Esley had mentioned. Valron, you've never seen her in this rough shape. Like, she's taken 3 harm. She's not getting worse. She's stabilized, but it's not great. You've got this cut on her neck, still kind of seeping blood through the hastily thrown on bandage, and she isn't caring for herself.
Oh, right. I see. Valron, you look like somebody. You don't look so good. I know. You're fine. You're great. You're the best bounty hunter there ever was. But you have to admit that your body would serve you better if it was less injured.
True. I think it's important that we find this transponder.
Yes.
And
I will find a med kit for you.
Oh. That would be great.
Okay, you find the transponder, I find the med kit, and then we use the transponder on you and not on the med kit on you and not on the transponder. I'm sorry. I'm a bit confused. I just met a sister I didn't know I had.
Well, yeah.
Good thing I'm a Jedi and I have my feelings under control. And I go off and get a med kit because I've got my feelings under fucking control.
That's great. Sweet. So you guys are doing this before you take off, or are you
no, we're already
good.
Breaking atmosphere.
Perfect. So you break atmosphere, I guess, well, Droff, who's flying the ship if you're getting drunk?
Oh no, I went, you remember I went back up when Lynn came to tell me we were likely to be hijacked. And so as I marched to the bridge, I was shouting at people, and now I'm in the bridge, flicking switches and, tinkering stuff.
Sorry. I spaced on that. I apologize. Yes, so you are plugging in, trying to basically, the Adarlon ground controls giving you clearance to take off. You're in the process of taking off, and as you do,
Oh, I'm not listening to that. I'm just, click
Yeah.
go.
of course, right? But they're telling you anyway, not that you're paying attention. Bold Devil's taking off, and we see this Gazanti class freighter, Imperial freighter, that is taking off at the same trajectory. Gazanti is the Imperial TIE fighter. It's effectively like it carries around a number of TIE fighters and it has light speed engines, so it'll pop out and then drop off TIE fighters to be handled in remote locations like, I don't know, Adarlon. So you're not paying attention to that because you're trying to get the heck out of Dodge, and you get out to where you can start plotting astronavigation coordinates when you get the notification. Well, actually, when Valren and Soren come up to the cockpit to bother you. Yeah, that would happen first.
Oh, wait, I just realized I can take 1 harm and generate 3 force points.
You
instead of just
can. Do you want to
1.
do that?
Of course, then I can force heal Baron, which is a bit quicker and well, it's not more painless for her, but it's still yeah, I will do that. Of course, I will.
Awesome.
Of everything. I mean, I would have gone looking for the med kit, realized that I have no idea how to work a med kit really on injuries like that. I mean, she's
I've just
really
seen him
bad.
slather backed on people. That's all you do.
Yes, and I think I've done that before. I mean, I worked at that bar, right? But I think maybe force healing at that point is a better option. So I will maybe force heal her for 2 and then slather back to her.
Nice.
And I still have a force point left.
You bet. So you use force healing. What does that look like? And Valren, how do you react to magic healing?
I'm not telling her it's magic healing.
Just pretending that you're using the
I have
Bacta and the med kit.
I have the med kit and the Bacta, and what happens is that I will. I mean, it will feel very nice and like the way it had felt before a bit, but that's probably just the Bacta, right?
I think Valren feels this prick and it's like, oh, you could be a little bit more gentle, and then I think the force healing takes over and all of that.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Wow, you just accept it no questioning because you're used to that kind of stuff, or you're not used to fight. You don't pick up that it's force healing.
I don't think I could pick up that it's force healing.
Okay,
but I'm focused in on getting rid of this transponder because it doesn't matter how healed up I am or how good I am if they find us, if whoever's after us finds us.
All right, sweet. I'd like to see you read a situation. I'll let you take a +1 on the roll. Actually, I'll let you roll with advantage. We have that. So
okay. And this is read a sitch?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's canny. That is an 11.
Okay. You get 3 questions.
Okay. Let me pull out my list. Okay, I can't find read a sitch.
I will drop it in.
Thank you.
It's actually on the moves and weapons, but I'll drop it into chat in just a sec. Let me.
Okay.
And it's coming up now. There you
Thank
go.
you. So I think the best one here for me, so I get 3. What represents the best opportunity for me to ditch this transponder?
Oh, cool. That's a great phrasing of the question. You realize that the transponder is actually located in a pair of dice that are hanging, because Draft's just, I imagine, that kind of guy, right? So yeah, the transponder is slid inside one of those. It's slid pretty well. The quickest way is just to grab the whole pair of dice, but I don't know if you want to do that to Draft. You could probably slice it out, though.
No. I'm totally grabbing that pair of dice. I mean, it's just garbage to me. And,
hey, no, those are the lucky dice.
they aren't very lucky right now unless you want to get caught.
What do you mean?
This is where the transponder is. And I think I need to. Are we just going to jettison them? Drop?
You're not jettisoning the dice.
Okay, Valrin then sets them down like on the console and smashes one of the dice to see if I can get the transponder out.
Yes, you smash one of the dice and crack it a couple times, and it busts open, and you see that sure enough there was like this little tiny homing beacon that had been placed inside, and it splits and dies, and they lose the signal.
Well, my mom
then I
has
think
dice like that, so
I scoop up the pieces and I kind of drop the pieces in Droff's hands.
I would like something else to be in the pieces.
Ooh! What else is among the scrap of this die?
Just a crystal, a hollow crystal of Soren's mother. So when Valrin drops these on the console, the crystal activates and the face of her mother materializes on
his
console.
Soren's a boy.
Oh, yeah. So Soren's mother. Yeah.
And then I scoop it up quickly.
That's not relevant right now, but draft. Whatever. Let's get out of here.
I'm not talking to you because if your mother was here, I wouldn't be talking to her.
I think you are letting your emotions get the better of you.
Oh, don't spin all that Jedi druck that your mother's so full of.
I don't think my mother is a huge follower of that Jedi drug anymore, really.
No, but she used to be.
And that's
Back in
when,
the day.
back in the day, that's when a huge gray triangle of a massive ship just comes right out of hyperspace just before you finish plugging in the coordinates. And if you hit that button right now, Droff, you're going to shoot straight through that thing. And while that might do a great deal of harm to that, you guys will be space dust.
Hard left.
Nice. Hard left. Lynn.
Yes.
Everyone else is in the cockpit.
Yeah. Knowing that here's what Lynn wants to do right now. Seeing that we were about to punch the coordinates and blast through a Star Destroyer, it's time for Lynn to do his thing. He wants to he wants to use, deep. He wants to open his brain to chart a correct hyperpath for us somewhere safe.
Oh, nice.
That's the whole angle. That's the whole angle for him, is that he's, guiding.
I love it. This is his thing. You're like fulfilling a bit of that destiny. Let's see if the dice agree with you.
I'm sure they won't, and that's okay. All right. Plus
You roll
2.
snake eyes, so it should be amazing.
All right, that's not bad. 8. So plus 2, 10.
Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark deep, which is great for you. Yeah, you're almost near an improvement. So, Droff, you turn that off immediately. Lynn just shoves his way through, quick jumps on the nav computer and plugs in some stuff, and you're not even sure what length. Like, this is not ABEC, this is not basic. Whatever Lynn is programming in, it looks like a pathway. Yeah, maybe as you hard left, maybe this will work, but then it's really up to Lynn convincing you that he's fulfilled a bit of his destiny.
I look at Draft. Punch it now.
And I don't think I have an option. So I punch it now.
Sweet. So you pull the lever, and just as you see a laser, like a giant red blaster bolt coming, zooming towards you, and then you pace and it slips past, and then the Gazanti class cruiser behind you is there on board, and we cut inside to the Gazanti class cruiser, and we have our amazing and beloved stunt casting of our total dick of an Imperial, of course Starward, and he's standing there. He's there. He's got his pilot And then standing beside him is another Imperial Inquisitor. He just lost him. And the Inquisitor from her helmet intones, I can find them. So I think, Lynn, by reaching out to the Force, as you did to plug that perfect calculation in, Soren, you realize Lynn has plotted in a course to the Outer Rim, going directly to a place that your sister so desperately wants to go.
Yes, well, the will of the Force be done. I go and prepare her that we might be there earlier than thought.
Great minds think alike. I'd already prepped my ports of call. Soren's planet. I know people here who can get you precious things, beautiful things, wonderful things.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's perfect. Now, so Soren's planet, does it even have a name, Soren?
It's not called Soren's planet.
I know.
It's called, it has many names though. Backwater is very common, or dump, or why are we even here? That's pretty common too, but nobody has ever named the planet. It has a planet in the Imperial maps or in the old Republican maps, but nobody can pronounce it because it's a Wookiee. That was
Like
Wookiee, Spacefarer.
Oh, nice. So yeah, it's like called or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. Nobody can pronounce it. So
Sweet.
it's mostly Backwater is fine.
Backwater is perfect. That's awesome. It's so off the chain. And yeah, Soren, you accept it, right? It's the will of the Force. This is the way it's meant to be. Valrin, you've been healed up. You've got your credits. You guys got out of there, away from Adarlon. So Valrin, what do you want to do at this point while you guys are in hyperspace? Is there anything you...
No, I think that you see her working with the carbonite controls, making sure they're all okay, getting things stored away, like with bounties, like I'd had before. And I think that otherwise you see her like sitting there cleaning her weapons, taking the vibro sword and making sure everything's good and getting prepped.
That's awesome. And I will say that anyone that is sitting at 3 o'clock harm, or basically 1 harm during this travel, we can go ahead and mark that off. And if you're at 2 harm, you can drop it to 1. So effectively, time heals these wounds. So everybody should be...
Can I clear my mind? I mean, I admit that
I think you
it
should.
might be very, very difficult for me to clear my mind right now, but I think I also would like to. I think Soren would go before we get anywhere, would go and try to clear his mind, because there's a lot of stuff here with Draft and what he wants and who he is, and Ashley, who was left by his mother, who is another can of worms. And then he has to talk to Ashley about coming back to the light side of the Force, and that maybe he can use some. She was wounded, and no, she wasn't. He didn't hurt her, right?
He didn't hurt her. No,
so
he didn't.
She no Force healing. Damn. Well, okay.
I mean, she could have like a maybe an abrasion or something.
Yeah, then I can use my Force healing on her.
Yeah.
And just spend the Force point I generated right now, but that's I like that, because I need to talk to her about the light side and what that means.
Cool. And I've imagined this is just like we can elide that deep conversation about you talking about the light side. It's a lot of what we've seen in the movies, or is there a particular point that you wanted to hit?
I just wanted the point that I particularly want to hit is that the light side is about hope, that something will be better in the future. That is the heart of the light side, that hope that things won't be worse.
I had given up hope. After so many years, I thought our mother was dead. I hoped that she was dead, because what they have done to those who were captured, were not killed during Order 66. They were tortured and turned, as I was.
I cannot say anything to justify that. I cannot. I am so sorry this happened to you. But there is a way back to the light. I believe that. I can sense it in you.
We shall see, little brother. We shall see. I must tell you that I did not travel alone. In fact, my partner was a superior. The seventh sister. Always two there are. I fear that she can find me.
And we will confront her.
She is far greater than I. Her hold on the Force is unwavering. Her powers with the dark side are terrifying.
Well, that is the will of the Force, but I still have hope. That is who I am.
It is. You are so unlike your father.
I don't even know my father.
She quirks an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything further.
I don't think he understands that at this point. Like,
No,
I mean, it was never something he cared about, or maybe it's like it's mostly. I've had lots of fathers over the years.
Paying customers. Yeah, that sounds.
Oh, well, mother was never somebody to let her heart go to waste. I think she had many friends. She fell in love easily, out of it easily.
I see. We'll face this together then. So anything with Lynn? Because I know Utri's going to come find you when the beacon is destroyed.
Yeah, Lynn wants to go to Valorant. He's gonna, seek out. And when he's into.
I'm sorry, Cody. You're cutting in and out a little bit.
Sorry. Can you hear me all right?
I think you're back now. Yeah.
Okay, weird. So Lynn is gonna head towards Valorant. He needs to get some muscle on his side.
And I think Valorant is just sitting there, cleaning the sword, putting it away, cleaning the knives.
Mistress Hito, it is me, Lynn Lynid, of course. I know we haven't crossed paths much on this adventure. You have been quite busy, and it is now that business, as it were, that you are so proficient in that I need. As you know, there was a transponder issue, and that was one of my followers. That was Utri. I think we need to do something about that. Do you have the means to restrain someone, perhaps cuffs, or Lynn kind of looks at the carbonite things. I wouldn't dare put him in one of these. Well, maybe I will. What do you think?
I certainly do. What is your, what is the fee that you're offering?
Of course, I know how you all do business. If I'm not sure if this is something bounty hunters do, but perhaps if you would enter my service as a bodyguard for the time being, I could offer you a simple payment of, 1 credit.
The going rate is 2 credits per, and I describe a time period. So this is like per week or something like that.
Okay. Well, 2 credits. I don't have that Two credits will be fine, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think Valren then, sheaths the knife, stands up, grabs a pistol off of the wall, and says, "I'll be right back."
Okay.
Sweet. So you say, "I'll be right back," and then you turn, and there is the 5 foot tall Bothan, and he says, "They've broken the homing beacon. Lynn, how can the elders come to you now? How can we protect you? This is unacceptable."
And I think I interpose myself, and I step over, and I kind of put my arm around the Bothan. Utsi? What's his name?
Utri.
And I say, "Okay, I'm sorry. It took me a while. I've got the perpetrator right in here, and I'm going to step him forward to show him where the carbonite is, and then I'm going to shove him in and freeze him." Right?
Yeah, I think that just happens.
Okay,
he
great.
is not a fighter. He's gonna. But wait, and so he's frozen, going.
Yeah.
And yeah, you see the smoke and everything, and then.
And I turn to Lynn and I say, "I think problem solved for now. You might have some explaining to do, but that's not my position. We'll figure this out whenever you see your elders next."
And hopefully it won't be for some time. But yes, this will do for now. We should probably drop him somewhere eventually. Thank you. And wherever it is we're going, I'm not entirely sure myself. I would appreciate it if you stayed close.
Certainly. And I think that I'm going to pull some stuff out. And I'm like, now that you're kind of my charge, I'm going to pull my stuff off the rack. Maybe a small blaster pistol that I'll hand to you, and maybe flak armor or something like that. Just kind of set over you. And I think whenever I set it over you, you kind of settle
Yeah, I crunch down, definitely.
Yeah.
Perhaps this is a bit heavy for me, Valren. I'm sure this isn't all necessary, is it?
Well, I'm just trying to do my job. If you want to take it off, it's your right as the what's the right word? As the person who's paying me, as the boss.
Yes, of course. And as the boss, I don't think the elders will wish me harm, but I appreciate it. I'll put this in my quarters for now.
I'll do my best to protect you from anything that comes. And I think I'm going to seal my quarters, lock it up, and I'm going to stay outside his quarters.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think I pull a chair. You do whatever you want to. I'm just going to sit down inside. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I go into my quarters. I take off the flak jacket. I begin talking to Cara Dune frantically about what a possibly terrible decision I've made.
Nice. Yeah, and Cara Dune seems unfazed by your stress. Yeah, and just continues playing with this little womp rat toy. So we cut to Draft. You're nearly there at Backwater when you feel a cool presence behind you and turn to see Esley. He doesn't
What do you
know.
want?
He's ignorant.
I just don't know what to say. What do you know about your father?
You're not my father.
Oh, young lady, I know that. I just want to know who is.
You don't see Rox's nose? Your first mate. You don't see anything of him and me?
Good God. Oh my good God. In a conflict, you need to move. You're going to run games like this. You need to move.
What happened to him? What's happened to my father? I thought when I found you, little scoundrel, I at least see him.
Let me just clarify. Is this the associate of mine that Valron put inside?
Yes. Yes.
And Draff is a quick thinker. He will say, he got caught. I honestly don't know where he is now. He was handed over to the Imperium, to the Imperials.
That's a lie. I would have known. I would have found him.
I need to persuade or charm her until I can talk to Valron.
Okay. Don't fail this roll, because I have a hard move like right here. I'll just pull it off the shelf.
No pressure then. Roll +2.
Yeah, you got it. You're good at this. You're built for this. It's fine.
That is 10.
Jesus. Before today, I would have choked you until you gave me what I want. But I have a brother now, and he has hope in you, his father. Do not disappoint him further, or I'll resort to my old ways.
I think Draff will look down and I won't let him down.
Very well. And she turns and clasps her hands behind her back and walks in a very erect military Imperial style away from you. And that's when the ship comes out of hyperspace, like, phew, and we see the basically Dagobah with a slight wash over it, and then the little script at the bottom that literally says backwater. Yeah.
You may want to be reminded that
please.
the Bold Devil has 2 weaknesses, Guzzler and Unreliable.
Nice.
I'm just reminding you of that.
Thank you. You're basically out of fuel at this point when you come out of here. You're going to have to refuel here. Oh, yeah. It's the moment of like, you see that the fuel indicator and you tap it because it hasn't moved in a while, and then it just drops all the way down to E and then starts flashing red. So do we do the quick like Lucas style screen wipe of you guys having landed? We do have a picture of the Bold Devil in the NPCs and places, thanks to Alan. It is a sexy little ship, I have to say. I am pretty impressed with her. She is sleek.
A Nubian yacht, I think.
Nice. So Soren, tell us a little bit about the village of here on Backwater where the Mind Trick Cantina can be found. Is it like, are there mostly loggers and the like? What's the main?
Loggers. I like the idea of there being loggers. Yeah, there is a pretty rare sort of tree that grows around here because it's more like actually not a tree but a cactus. It grows like on the ground in this desert, hilly, plainsy place. You have to actually find it. Then you usually have to fight the spiders that live on it. They're not very happy about people logging these things, but they make very lovely wood, and it can be sold for a very high price on places like Coruscant or something. It's mostly and you have these loggers who are also spider hunters, and then you have all kinds of scum and villainy, like people who aren't in the cartels or anything, because these never, for some reason, there was some sort of like some presence, but that kind of vanished, I think maybe 17 or 18 years ago when my mother set up shop here. And ever since then, it's been kind of a haven for people who just want to catch their breath, really. Not to stay forever, but just to lie low and let stuff down for a bit. So yeah, you have lots of cantinas and hotels, and everybody's very nice to everybody else because everybody's armed, but it's more like Canadian armed than or Swiss armed. Everybody knows, okay, I know what I do with my weapons. I don't have to show off. And if somebody a lot mouth comes in and shows off, they will very quickly and very politely be put in their place or in their grave if needs be.
Nice, but it's a powder keg that nobody's lit a fuse near because they all know, like, mutually assured destruction is
yes,
the thing that keeps everybody polite. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That is great. And I think because this was originally a Wookiee homeworld, maybe there are a few Wookiees who've still stayed here, like they're the indigenous population.
I don't know if it was Wookiee homeworld or just the Wookiee explorer who discovered
not homeworld. You're right, because Kashyyyk is the homeworld. Yeah, but like a Wookiee colony or something.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Named by the Wookiees, there were enough here for that their name would just kind of caught on.
Yeah, that keeps people polite as well.
Yeah, sweet.
Start trouble with the Wookiee.
Yeah, they rip arms off.
Yeah. Well.
So Soren, the Bold Devil lands. We have the cool little gangway drop down, and I think your sister hasn't bothered to change out of her Inquisitor gear. She doesn't have the helmet. She just continues to wear the lightsaber and the black garb and the dope cape. Because I mean, look at that thing; it's so hot.
Yeah. Yes. What? Wait. She's my sister, right? That. Lynn, what are you thinking? I catch weird feelings from you.
No. I'm thinking it's strange that this is where we plotted a course to. It seems a strange place to be the safest.
It's my homeworld. Actually, I was born here.
What? That's
yeah. My mother lives here. I think maybe the Force wants her and Esley to meet.
Well, Lynn kind of looks around for Valor and he says, yes, maybe that is why we were guided here. It seems strange. The path should take us, but the path leads and we follow.
Okay, for now. Draft, do you want to come?
I have to see to the refueling.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Probably the best choice.
I turn to Lynn then and say, I have so many questions.
You and me both, friend. He's a strange one.
Yeah. You know that hollow thing that went off, that was my mother's face on that picture.
What?
Yeah, right.
That he had stored in his dice?
Yeah, it's weird, right? My mother has the same dice in her bar.
Soren, I don't know how to talk to you about this, but did your mom know Draft?
Well, probably. I don't know. She never mentioned him. He's back at the ship, like thinking, what?
You know what? It makes sense. You said your mom had dice like this at the bar. Is this a souvenir? Maybe Draft came by. He's been here before. He's been here before. Oh, great.
Yeah, well, many people have been here before. It's a place where you come and go, right? Lots of people. Let's go out to the Mind Trick. That's my mother's bar.
Lead the way, Soren.
Yeah, it's a very subtle name, really.
And
I roll my eyes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Valorant will actually walk in front of Lynn to a certain extent, unless Lynn moves in front of Valorant.
No, Lynn's happy to let Valorant do her thing. She knows what she's doing.
I think we totally have like this the director forces you, Valren, to do this thing where you come in and then you kind of tilt your head down, and we get this total like homage to when Lando was in at the huts, at Jabba's place, and he had the the little mask thing. So he tilts his head down to see the eyes, and we see that from Valren for just a moment as you come into the cantina. We hear some Bish music, the Bith are playing some jazz music, and it's like a live band. This is their only gig. These guys are probably like, wow, how did we end up in this backwater planet? It says, I don't know, we should get a manager. But they keep playing, and there are a number of different alien species here. We see like the weird wolfen dude that was in the original in New Hope, and a number of others, and maybe somebody in like some Mandalorian armor that we just see a glimpse of, so people will argue about it actually being Boba Fett, but you don't see enough of it to be able to say for sure. And then behind the bar is, sure enough, a lovely human woman in her 18, probably what, like late 40s, 50s?
Yeah, about that.
Around
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's got like a strong bearing, but everything seems pretty casual. Then she sees you, and everything changes, Soren. As she seems thrilled and relieved, but you also feel that there's just this worry. What do you do?
I step in, and I then will stand aside to reveal that Esley is with me, because this is not about me. This is about these two. They should hash this out. But I will remain alert, because I don't want Esley to draw lightsaber inches from my mother's throat.
Yeah, that would be not the kind of meeting you wanted to set up.
Yeah. I mean that there will be hard feelings and stuff like that. Okay, and at one point I'm very well prepared to throw the lightsaber to my mother. But I don't want her to be murdered in the middle of her bar without having anything to say for herself, which she should have, which I hope she has, because, I mean, come on. And I say, Mother, I've met my sister.
There's a long silence as the shock registers on your mother's face, and you feel your sister's resentment. You feel her anger, her hurt, her feelings of betrayal, but you also feel little flickers of hope. She stands. It looks like she's not going to approach the bar. And maybe the two of them are just going to stare at each other for a long time. Lynn, what are you doing as you see this? Like, are you aware that this is like a whole thing? They brought you in, right? You're aware that this is a family reunion of sorts, right?
I think even if they didn't bring me in, I was there when they kind of addressed each other and said what they were going to do back on the last planet. So I think Lynn is aware of it. And he's just going to kind of like find a table nearby and just sit and get out of the way, and motion for Valorant to join him as well.
I think Valorant probably catches. There's probably not like the waitress droids running around. I think Valorant walks up to the bar, gets a drink, and brings it back and sets it down for Lynn, and then stands there next to the table.
Nice. Then we cut to Droff, because we got to draw this out. It's a little longer, and I'm really curious what Droff is up to. What are you doing, Droff?
Well, I've just realized we do have, in a conflict, we have a thing called trust your feelings. So I'd like to roll plus deep, please.
Do it.
That is 5 minus 1. That is 4.
Oh, thank you. Hold on. Let me just reach over here. Pull this.
Well, I'd quite like the bold devil to pick up the arrival of a Star Destroyer, actually, but that's just me.
Gazanti class cruiser first, Star Destroyer next. So yeah, you've just thunk, shunk, and the fuel starts going in, and you've got an Ugnaught and a couple of Jawa are arguing with you about the credits needed, and that's when we see, and then a Gazanti class cruiser starts coming in for a landing, and you hear "Ootini!" and the Ugnaught is like, and they are arguing about this. One of them has a data pad, and it's not like they have a landing tower or anything. They just go, "Oh, that's not good." To what's going on. What do you do, Drops?
Well, I tick deep, so I've just ticked 3.
Nice.
Yeah. So that marks me a 3rd improvement, which means I can choose another move from another playbook, which is methodical. When you lay out your plan for a mission to others, I'll come to the detail later, but with fuel hoses trailing, I take off.
Oh God. Oh, that's so good. You're in a lot of trouble. This is amazing. Sweet. So yeah, we cut back to the long staring match, Soren, and finally your mother breaks the silence as Chayla says, "Come have a drink with me. Please. We have much to discuss." And still stiffly, Esley marches forward and sits on the bar stool across from your mother. And she starts to pour a drink. Soren, you too.
Yeah, okay. And I'm throwing oh my God, I don't know what to feel now. Look at Lynn, but okay. And I will go and sit with my mother and my sister, which I didn't know I had. Oh wow.
And the first thing that Chayla Doll, your mother, says is, "I have 2 questions, Soren. Have you taken care of my lightsaber?
Yes.
Is Darth Bale with you?"
Yes.
And there's the roar as the bold devil takes off. And we look up through the skylight to see it leaving.
And I look up at the sky and say, hold that thought, no.
And Esley looks up and says, "Carapast, I trusted him." And then you hear as the scream of a couple of TIE fighters scream past after the bold devil. What do you do?
I mean, I've still, is my old speeder bike still here?
Your mom says, "Of course it is. What do you think? I would sell it or steal it from you?"
As when she said yes, then I'm off. I'm off to my speeder bike, because speeder bikes are pretty quick and TIE fighters in atmosphere aren't so fast. So maybe I catch something.
Maybe so. Soren Dahl takes off running, and I think your sister's going to take off after you, mostly to avoid this conversation that maybe she wants to have, but maybe she could just have later.
Yeah, I understand her feeling, and maybe she can just steal the other speeder bike that's parked in front of the car.
Lynn, Valrand, you just heard the bold devil, your ride, take off screaming past you, and then Valrand, maybe Lynn, you don't recognize the sound of TIE fighters, but Valrand, you certainly know the sound of TIE fighters screaming past with that blaster fire as they are coming after the bold devil.
So I think that I turn to Lynn and I say, it's time for us to get to someplace safer, underground. So, and I kind of grab a hold of his arm and kind of pull him up and say, let's go.
But with Soren, are you going to do anything to help him?
That would increase the fee. I protect you.
Well, we were brought here. Soren's this. We should probably take care of Soren. All right, I'll give another credit, whatever you want.
So yeah, I think Valrin will head off in the direction that Soren and Isley went. Yeah.
Nice. So Valrin, Lynn, you guys come up behind as Soren. You've pulled a tarp off of your speeder bike, and it's like, it's a classic. It's not a swoop, right? I imagine it's just what you guys were able to build together. You and your mother working together. She taught you how to put all this, piece it and scrap it together, and
I
you
think it
hop
might have
on.
been
Right?
one of my stepfathers.
There you go.
Actually.
You got to rebuild it. Yeah. It's a thing where
he wanted to connect with his stepson, and then he had a falling out with my mom, of course, but we're still friends, kind of, because of the speeder bike, and I still call him Papa or something. So
I totally have an image of an Aqualish walking around and going, the walrusman, but that totally would be really weird. That's cool. Sweet. So you guys have hopped onto the speeder bike. Valrin and Lynn, you see that Soren and his sister have gotten onto a speeder bike to try to take off. Lynn, what do? You're calling the shots here. You've paid the creds.
Lynn wants to, I think I want to try and understand what's happening. Why did Droff just take off? What are these TIE fighters doing? Where are they going? I think Lynn wants to know how or what he can do to help.
Nice.
So should I read a situation, or?
I think read a sitch is probably a good way to go. Let's see.
Okay. All right.
And there, it's you trust your feelings again, though. If
always and forever.
If you'd rather trust your feelings, you can.
No, I think right now it's so frantic he doesn't have the calm he needs. I rolled a 10.
Okay. So with a 10, you get 3 questions.
All right. Okay. So I think the first question would be, what's my best way through this situation?
Okay, so what do you want? What is through? If I understand that, I can better.
Sure. So in that, I guess, what's the best way? Let's get to that one last, maybe. So who or what poses the biggest threat to me?
The biggest threat to you is, I would say the biggest threat to you is the number of Imperials on their Gazanti class cruiser that's landing right now.
Okay. So knowing that those are the biggest threat, is that where Sorendal, they're getting their speeder bikes? Who are they chasing after, I guess?
Oh, they are going to try to chase after the TIE fighters that are trying to take down the Old Devil.
Got it. Okay. So then the question for the last question I'll use, we'll see, that was another one, is how can Valrin and I, what's our best way to not get caught up by those troopers in the Gazanti? What's the way to avoid them?
Awesome. Yeah, you glance around and sure enough, you see this this dirty brown land speeder that if you just hotwire that, you can get away from this village and maybe even help out Soren and Esley if they need it.
I'll point to it. Valrin, do you know how to hotwire a speeder?
I think Valrin's like, no, get in. And I think I start looking around and like hit the power button and it turns on. Right?
Yeah, it just lights up. This is a peaceful place. They don't even lock their cars here. It's crazy.
And I think I tear out, but I'm headed in the direction of the ship, the Bull Devil, right?
Oh, right. The Bull Devil screened past. Well, it's just like if we were to give it compass directions, the Bull Devil went south.
Right. And that's the direction that I'm heading with the land speeder, right?
Which is also where Soren and Esley are going, because Soren was intent on trying to help out the Bull Devil by trying to chase after TIE fighters. You're all headed the same way. And you guys all vacate the village. Right?
That's when Draff comes on the intercom and pulls heavy on the stick to go kind of straight up. And he says, Soren, look after your mother. Because he doesn't know that they're chasing him.
Nice.
Okay, can I don't think I obviously I have a way to answer because otherwise I wouldn't be able to receive. So I would answer, my mother's not being chased by TIE fighters, Draf.
I have a plan. Look after your mother. They'll be landing soon.
That's not what TIE fighters do.
There's a cruiser.
Yeah, well, my mother can handle herself.
You remind me more and more of her.
It sounds like
Big-headed
so.
through and through.
That's great. So you guys have this argument. Do we want to bring it to like a charm and deceive, or are we good with where you guys just settled that out?
I'm good with where we just settled that out.
Okay.
Because I won't be charmed and deceived into helping him, because I think my mother, she's handled herself and she knows people on this planet and she has allies. So if there are Imperials who think they can mess with her, I think they probably got another thing coming, really.
Nice. Cool.
Can I?
If only she had a
roll-
lightsaber,
I mean, she doesn't need a lightsaber. She has, what did you say? She has Wookiees. There's this Mandalorian.
That's true. She's got all that stuff.
I mean,
Oh, and I did misspeak when Esley said seventh sister. So she actually said, like, we'll say she said 11th sister, something like that.
is that the lady from Last Jedi, or no, it's not?
It's, I don't think.
No, I think that's I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's like, there's so many
Anyway.
sisters and numbers. Seventh sister was in Rebels.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
where I was
right,
like,
right.
I
That's
didn't
the
want to step
one
on that.
people think might have.
Ninth sister is in the Fallen Order.
Oh, okay, okay. So then we have 11th sister, which is fine. Okay,
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
make one. So
Sure.
there we go.
okay.
Can I roll for methodical? My new move.
Yes, let's do that because it sounded like you were trying to lay out some of your methodical plan.
Roll plus canny plus 1.
All right.
That is a 10. So on a 10, I hold 3. I can spend holes during the mission to do one of the following: have someone show up with or without warning, reveal an escape route when none existed previously, supply someone with vital piece of equipment or intel when the need arises. Okay.
Okay.
And Cody, you got an upgrade too, didn't you?
Yeah, I have enough to do it. I'm not sure what I want to take on that, so I'm just kind of holding for now.
This is it, man. We're almost done. If you always like stop, so you have a moment to take a
No,
breath and do that.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay,
There's some
cool.
things that I think would make sense, but it's like whatever. So I'm reading through stuff. Keep going.
Okay.
And so I'd like to spend 1 on supply someone with a vital piece of equipment or intel when the need arises.
Okay.
Which is Valron. There are heavy weapons in the basement of the cantina. Take the cruiser down, or take the landing ships down.
Oh, sweet. So I think we see this shot of, we see Droff on screen saying this into the intercom. And we see the land speeder down below that's tearing after the ship, after the speeder bike, do a little U-turn, right? And head back for the cantina.
Nice. Sweet. And meanwhile, there are a bunch of stormtroopers that are marching on the village, firing in at anybody and everybody, trying to clear this place out. And sure enough, there is an 11th sister. And I think that the 11th sister is, I can't for the life of me remember the species, but the ones that are on the rain swept planet that create all the clones, the super long necked weird.
The Kaminoans.
Thank you. Yeah, the Kaminoans. The 11th sister is a Kaminoan. So she's got this weird kind of willowy, ethereal alien look to her. And of course she has the like middle handle rotating double-bladed lightsaber because that's terrifying. And I don't know how it works, but I don't care. So she has that. And she's moving forward and, they're trying to mow down this entire village. But Valrin, you and Lynn sweep back, where there's a cache of weapons. What does it look like, Valrin? Do you pull Lynn into the cantina with you? It's the most secure place in the village.
Yeah, so I think I pull Lynn inside and turn to the bartender,
Yeah.
right? And say, I understand you have, good guns here. Can you show me to the controls?
Trapdoor's over there, and she has this huge barrel that she's laying on top of a basically gun emplacement that she's trying to hook up for a heavy repeating blaster that she's got pretty much aimed at the door.
Mhm.
So,
And I'm like, you've got this. And I go pull open that trap door and jump inside.
nice. Yeah, and you would see this like lights click, 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 click on. There are a bunch of weapons, and some of it's really, really old truck, and some of it's newer things. All are kept in pretty good condition. Lynn, what are you doing as Valrin is super action hero here? What is Lynn going to do?
Lynn's going to see Valorn jump down the trap door. He sees the bartender putting up this big barrel. Lynn's going to keep his, he's going to look back out, and he's going to kind of keep his eye on the situation developing. And the hope is to be able to help by seeing things come at them.
Nice. So you're kind of Overwatch, effectively.
Yeah. He's trying to do that, but he's also trying to, when he feels that there is a path for them to take, he wants to be able to call it out.
Nice. Cool. So let's have you read a sitch. Definitely what you're doing here.
Sure. All right, +1. I get a 9, so mixed success on that one.
All right, yeah. So you get a mixed success. You get one question, and like best way in out through seems like where you're angled, but you can hold that and ask it as things come along.
I'll do that. I'll hold it for now.
If you don't mind, I'd like to say that in the ship, am I talking? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The little light didn't pop up. Okay. So I want to say I get down there into the little trap door, and there's controls, and I start flipping them on. And outside in the city, we see like this Doppler tower kind of building, like this round tower kind of building. And there's like crates off to the side, and we see it kind of, the dust start to raise. And it's like on Hoth, it's one of those big firing things. And the turret turns around, right? Where they've put boxes and like tarps over the turret, and it's been pointing down, and it kind of and starts to aim.
Oh, sweet. And you've got like the console to bring it online. That's what you're doing. Oh, I love that. Yeah. It just pops up, and a couple people move out of the way, and some bird flies off, and a loft cat rolls off because it was laying on one of the crates and doesn't really care. Just looks up. We cut to Droff. You're flying away. You hear there's all those klaxons going on. There's the bold devil is kind of rocked as you get hit by one of the blaster bolts that seems like it just scored off of your armor. What are you doing? You're trying to lay in those plans, but you're also under some duress as well.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that as I break atmosphere, they're going to follow me up, because I want to get those TIE fighters away from the planet.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like you're trying to just draw them off, so there's left there's no further problem. So let's see you outdrive another vehicle.
Well, I wondered if I could reveal an escape route where none existed previously.
Certainly can, because of methodical. You trump those basic moves with your awesome methodicalness.
Because I want to have this little trail of TIE fighters just following me out of atmosphere.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so you get out into space, and you've drawn off all the TIE fighters. Sorry?
Then we can't follow them anymore, because on the speeder we can't.
You draw
follow the
off
TIE fighters.
most of them, but maybe there's one that's trailing behind that is called back to the fray. That's sort of.
I mean, we can do other stuff if they're all following draft, then we can't do anything. So that's fine.
What are you most interested in? Chasing down a TIE fighter right now? If so, let's resolve that. That could be one less TIE fighter that gets to chase after Droff.
I mean, how many TIE fighters are there?
There are 4 total TIE
Oh,
fighters.
okay. Yeah, then we'll take one TIE fighter. Sure.
Okay, cool. So then let's hit a vehicle move. You're not trying to outdrive another vehicle. It sounds like you're going to do vehicle. Oh, weird. That didn't pull up.
Vehicle moves? I didn't know that there were vehicle moves.
There are vehicle moves, but we actually can just use the regular going blazing for damage, but then there's a vehicle harm rule, but it doesn't look like it's pulling
I mean,
out,
if I probably don't still have hold from lightsaber duelist, don't I? I would have to roll that anew.
Yeah, unfortunately, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's fine. I want to roll that anew. The lightsaber duelist. I
right.
still have 1 force point left, so I'll use that, of course, because why not? And then I will try to use the lightsaber duelist again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I've got a 9, so that's, I think, 1 hold or 2.
Okay.
Lightsaber duelist, hold 2, fine. Okay, because there is one of these things that says name a character on the scene, but outside your reach, you cross the distance to them before they have time to adjust or react. And I would like that for that to be the TIE fighter, of course. Because
That's awesome.
I mean, Ashley can probably steer the speeder bike better than I can. And I can then just jump onto the TIE fighter and hit it with the lightsaber.
That is
That's
crazy bananas. Oh,
that's exactly what they do in the movies. Come on.
Yes, so you like jump off and
yeah.
You can't quite hear, but we, the audience, hear as Esley screams after, "There are blasters on this, you know!"
Got a lightsaber!
And she veers down and looks like she's going to try to chase after another TIE fighter, trusting in the Force. So let's see you go in blazing. You're on it.
Yeah.
But let's see if you can actually pierce this thing and take it out before you're possibly taken through the atmosphere. This could be.
We'll see. I've rolled a 8 and 9. So yeah, I mean that's not great, but it's still.
When, and I quote, when you have a moment with somebody, you can arrive in the nick of time to hold up. I would like to spend my last hold on methodical to help by have someone show up with or without warning. The old buddies from the rebellion that I contacted on the way here.
Awesome.
Swoop in to distract all the TIE fighters, and I'd like to suggest that provides an advantage to Soren.
Sounds great. Awesome. Roll one last die to allow
Okay.
you roll with advantage to see if you get better than that.
Let's see if I do. I do.
Yes.
I do.
Nice.
But it's still a 9. I had an 8 before. It's a 9 now. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But still nice. Having a 9 is great because I mean.
You get to choose one. You can inflict terrible harm, expose or create a weakness, or take something from your opposition.
I actually would like to use one of my hold, because they're blasting at me, right?
Of course.
I still got 1 hold, and I can, and if they're blasting at me, I can redirect the bolt back to the shooter. So I will do that, and then hit the ship, of course.
So yeah, that is bizarre.
Well, that is actually what Jedi do, right?
I know it's bizarre, but it's like a crazy thing. So yeah, I think what happens is there's like a little pop-up turret on there, right? And you deflect that from the TIE fighter in, and it slips through, and you think you got the TIE fighter pilot because it starts heading towards the hilly desert ground, and you're on it. You're on this TIE fighter.
And I think what I want to take something from the TIE fighter. And they have these things on the sides, right? These are the TIE fighters.
Yeah, the little wing
I'll take one. I'll take one.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lightsaber. I can just chop it off.
Okay. You shear off one of those panels, and it's starting to kind of flutter down towards the ground. I imagine you're going to try to like hop onto it. Is that the plan?
The plan is actually that was the plan. Okay.
That was the whole plan. Okay.
That was the whole plan. Yeah. The next part is probably trying to jump back to the speeder bike.
Yeah, because I think that Esley, seeing all of this going on, she's trailing you, and then as soon as you shear off that wing, it's opened up a space, and as this thing starts to rotate, she flies under, and so it's doing the thing where it's about to go whoa, 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 and she just dips under, and you've got to drop down and have complete faith that she will catch you on the speeder bike. Valren, you've got this thing online. The Gazanti class cruiser is landed, but there are a number of TIE fighters that are chasing after Droff, and you see some other ships coming out of hyperspace as well. What are you doing, Valren?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to start shooting at the ships that have just come out of hyperspace, just so that more TIE fighters aren't there, right?
Okay.
Oh, wait. Are these
They do not
more?
appear to be TIE fighters.
Oh, okay. These are the
X-wings and
rebel ships.
Y-wings.
Okay, these are the rebels. These aren't backup for the stormtroopers.
They're New Republic. Let's be honest.
Okay, I see. Okay, in that case, I think I'm going to start using. I think can I aim the turret towards the ship, that's
The
landed?
Gazanti, yeah, the
Yeah.
big cruiser that's landed. Absolutely. You want to
Yeah, so I
destroy
think
their getaway? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, sweet. I think that's just a firing on that cruiser.
Mhm.
So you do it, right? You just blow away the Gazanti class cruiser. You just aim on that. You're not going to worry about those TIE fighters. You're taking away the ability for these stormtroopers to get out of here.
So
Their
if that's
escape.
the case, can I make a roll to see how much collateral damage there is to the stormtroopers?
Yeah. So just have you go in blazing, and see how well you do that overall.
So I got an 8 plus 2 is 10.
Okay, fantastic. So you get to choose one.
So in this case, let's say that it doesn't harm any of the citizens, right? But we see these troopers or Imperial officers kind of coming out, forming a line or heading into the village and maybe shooting some of the local villagers. And then we hear this big explosion, and they're all these troopers are all knocked flat from the explosion and thrown, go flying and that kind of stuff.
Nice. So let's cut to Lynn. There are a number of stormtroopers who've come in. A few of them got mowed down until something happened to the gun emplacement that Chayla had, and it like twists, like a visible hand just kind of came in and crushed it. What do you do, Lynn?
Oh no, is what I do. Okay, so Lynn has a blaster that Valorant gave to him, and seeing this thing crush the something crazy just happened, and it looks like the things I see Soren do. So Lynn is going to someone like Soren comes through that door, and he's going to fire on them. So I think Lynn's going to kind of hold up the blaster, and as soon as the enemy starts coming into this place, he's going to start firing back. Try and
It
keep.
sounds like you're standing in defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Standing in defense is, oh, cool. Yeah, tough. Look at that. -1 there. Perfect. Let's see what I get. Oh, 6 - 1, a 9.
Wow, that's good though. I mean, a 9 is a good thing. Yeah, you'll take it. So on a hit, you protect it from harm. Are you staying in defense of the bar or specifically?
Could I just say that I took Hotshot Pilot as my one after last time, and it's when you go into battle from a cockpit, say something inspirational, add a die to the teamwork pool.
Oh, I didn't change that over. So
so I'd like to radio into Lynn and say, Lynn, die before you let them get through.
Cool. I'll let you roll one more die as basically rolling with advantage.
Reroll one, or
You can just roll a fresh die, and then you can pick the best 2 of the 3. Oh no, we'll just give you a +1. Let's save all the die rolling. We're almost done. So yeah, you get a +1 that pushes you to a 10. So on a 10 with stand the defense, you get 2 options. Do you see that move? I've dropped it down in the moves and weapons tab. I think Cody's frozen.
Yeah, Cody froze for me.
Okay, that stinks. All right. So let's jump to Soren. You jump off onto the speeder bike, and your sister says, God, no, it's like Lynn. Anyway, your sister says, she's here. And she zips down and is headed over the village. And you see the Kaminoan with the lightsaber. She's standing just outside of the mind trick bar.
Okay, then that's where we go, and that's where we talk to this other Inquisitor person. because that's what you do, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Stand against evil.
Cool. So you're gonna step into that, and I think based off of time and the fact that we lost a player, we may have to just like leave this in a weird but also kind of amazing cliffhanger of Draft Bale. Let me see if maybe.
Damn, Draft didn't get to say I'm your father, Soren.
That was my other inspirational line.
Yeah. Well, where's my mother in this? She's standing out of the mind at the doorway of the mind trick and looks at the Inquisitor, something like that.
She was still in the mind trick. The Inquisitor was sending people in, and they had just used the Force to kind of crush her weapon. And so the Inquisitor was about to step in when you guys come flying in. So Cody just rejoined us because he had some disconnected audio. Can't connect audio.
You guys hear me?
That's weird.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you are. Cool. You're connected.
Weird.
Awesome. So, yeah, Draft is managing those TIE fighters with the people that you called in for help. They're going to pick those TIE fighters off. Valren's taken out the Gazanti class cruiser, so there's no escape for them. But this Inquisitor, after you defended it so well, Lynn, she has lost a lot of her stormtroopers that she's thrown in, and now she's about to step inside to kill Soren's mother when Soren jumps off of the speeder bike to interpose himself between this Inquisitor and Soren's mother. And I think just because of time, we cut right there. Like that's the fight where we have Inquisitor, the 11th sister. We have your sister Esley is there with her lightsaber that drips, and your mother with no lightsaber but still standing calmly in front of the bar. Now she got out from behind the bar. But that's the moment where we've run out of funding and we have to end the episode right there.
I think we see the Star Wars wipe that's these bright lightsaber blades, right?
Yeah.
And then we start seeing credits. I'm like, oh.
And during the credits, we hear the lightsaber sound effects and everything of this crazy fight that we could just imagine in our brain. But yeah, I think we will.
And everybody, that's the cliffhanger that we end up, and we all wait for the next season. Probably won't happen. Will it?
Craziness. Sweet. So that will bring our session to a close. If you guys have a few minutes, I'd love to do just a little post-game feedback. It looks like Cody got booted again. But, well, maybe. I think I can hear Cody almost. I'd like to take a 2-minute bio break. If then anybody who can stick around will do so. If anybody needs to go, totally cool. And so I will see you guys in 2 minutes.
So, Rich, if everyone's okay, could we also do a epilogue?
Yes, I think epilogues are great. I just felt nervous asking for epilogues with like so little time, but I would rather us do epilogues because I think that would make that.
Yeah,
that would be
I'm
great.
really. I cost you a vital 10 minutes there, Rich. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. I BS'd a whole lot at the beginning when I should have like started the game, so I take full responsibility.
You know, to be honest, that's something that I miss. I play a lot of online games now, and I really miss the BSing, during a game because you don't have that, what's the burn down time at the end where you're just chit chatting about the day or anything like that. So that's good for me. I like that.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, we'll do an epilogues, and I think that will help to make up for a bit of the lost time. Man, Cody's having the worst time.
Sorry about that. Zoom just breaks my computer every time, I guess.
Dang it. Come on, Cody. Hey, I'm glad you're back.
Me too.
Here's what we decided, Cody, while you were out. We're going to do a brief epilogues for everybody, and then we'll do post-game stuff, just so we have a chance to kind of put people to bed. So while we didn't see the lightsaber fight on screen, you guys will get a chance to epilogue.
Sure. I mean, we should do that. We should do an epilogue. Now, what before the epilogue, we do like another 6-7 months of playing. Just spitballing, just a thought. I don't know.
I hear you. There's so many other games I've got lined up. It's like that's the one hard part about Star Wars Saturdays is that like I play 4 or 5 sessions and I'm like, oh, this is a really good start to a campaign, and then I move on to another game.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like a locust. Sabine, what was suggested is that we do brief epilogues for everybody before we do feedback. And
Cool.
if you're okay with that, I think that would be really helpful for me and my story brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. I don't want to be the first to do that. So, though.
I'll do it first.
Oh, thank you, Stephen.
Yep, because I've been thinking about this for, like from the beginning of the session. That's why I asked for it. So basically, what we see here is we see sometime in the future, we see a ship take off. And I did some searching and found like a little small kind of ship for Valrin to use as her own.
Nice.
And I think what we see is we see a shot from inside the ship and Valrin's piloting it, and it zooms through like, I guess, almost a trophy area. And we see the arm from the Wookiee mounted up there with some other trophies. And Valrin, sets a button. We see the ship go into light speed and turns around to leave the piloting area, hits a button, steps through, the door closes, and that door is Tebby's carbonated, form, frozen. And in the top corner, the camera kind of zooms in, and it's a bounty hunter badge that's been scratched out and has her name in it. That's all we see.
That's crazy. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. Who would like to go next? Remember, the sky's the limit. So if you want to fulfill destinies or do crazy funky stuff, as long as you're not stepping on the toes of another player character, my canon is your canon, friends.
I would go next, but it kind of depends on what Soren says to her mother, if anything.
His mother.
His mother, sorry.
I don't know what Soren would say to his mother, but I would.
Oh well, if you're not going to say anything to your mother, I can go in.
Go in.
I think that this is immediately after the TIE fighters. We've had a kind of space battle. The TIE fighters have gone down, and then there's a kind of incoming call, and it's Soren's mother, and we see her face pop up, and Draft looks at her and he says, I can't have this conversation with you right now. Shuts her down, goes to light speed.
Oh, you're the worst.
Love it. Love it.
So good.
Oh, can I build on that? because I think we see a kind of a seedy scum and villainy place, and we see Draft maybe a bit older, but not by much, and he is surrounded by a lot of people who don't like him and have phasers pointed at him, blasters pointed at him, and he's like, oh, I'm too old for this drug, because it's he's been in this situation about 1,500 times, and things always happen. And then you hear suddenly the sound, the characteristic sound of the lightsaber being turned on, and we see Soren walk in and stand next to Draft and say, I know you're not talking to me, but I think there's something you want to say to me. And then he starts parrying blaster shots.
Nice. Oh, that's delightful. All right. What about Lynn?
Oh, that was all wonderful. I think Lynn, it picks up shortly after the battle. And Valorant, and for the bodyguard duties of this, which proved to be quite useful. And Lynn wanders off into backwater to find another, just any old freighter who will take him to the next place. He has a couple of credits. Oh no, Cara Dune's on the ship with Draft. So maybe he has to hunt down Draft. So he's going off to the spaceport to find somebody to take him to the next spot, who will take him to the next spot, who will take him to the next spot, where he'll eventually get his cat back.
Chasing after the cat. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, I totally see that. That will bring us to...
Just to say, fans will notice in the corner of that last shot with Soren and Draft, Cara Dune just in the corner of the frame.
Completely
Wonderful.
Unimpressed by anything, and maybe a little getting in under Soren's feet, because she might like to see him, and yeah, you know, cats that wants attention now.
Oh, that's great. That is great. Cool. So, are we good? Does that bring us to a close? Awesome. Love it. Well, that was 3 sessions of Burned Over Star Wars World. I have a feeling the inner conflict is a kind of move that maybe some players may have wanted this session, so I will mark that as a thing. That's just a pretty brilliant, like, I think that is the killer, like the most killer of killer tech within Hearts of Wulin, and I hope that next month when I run Hearts of the Force that we can reach those heights of what we had at moments today. So let's go around the horn. We will do 2 stars and a wish. The wish can just be, hey, and it can be like, I'm good, but it also, if you have any specific mechanics feedback for this hack of a hack that was hacked together after the hacking, that would be great. And then the 2 stars are stars to your fellow players to talk about particular moments. And who would like to go first? You get to do all of it at once.
I can go first. Sorry, but I've thought of a wish right now. It's a stupid wish. I wish you could all have the same virtual background. That would be so amazing.
You know, that's a good idea to like share virtual backgrounds and say, let's all switch to X or Y. That's really interesting.
I mean, if we were all in this bar where Cody is now, that would be kind of funny, right? Because it would feel weirdly like we were in the same place. I mean, I can't have it because I have this non-suitable background, but well, you know. And then I'll continue with stars, and I have stars for all of you. You are so great. It was so much. I had so much fun. I love the way Lyndon stepped up and said, "No, I don't want to be the plaything of my elders." And always just, they don't know everything, and they gave me Draft, and that was terrible. But I want to stay here now. And then Varon, who just decided, yeah, bodyguarding's fine. I'm good at this, which she was. And I love the Graf who was just like, no, I'm not talking to you now. Go away, child. I will not pay childcare. No, wait, no one asked to. And Rich, thank you for setting up this session. It was amazing. Everything came together, and there were all these NPCs, and it was so cool. And poor Leppy, and I could go on for a long time now, but I'll stop because there are other people, and we all want to do something else today.
Yeah, can I offer stars? Stars, big star, Rich. You killed the Leppy.
It's so hard.
But crosshairs, beautiful moment. And I think that the whole kind of wrap up that Valron has then, Stephen, with poor little Tebby, the Leppy. But yeah, I mean, stars to everybody, but those ones stick in my mind. And just on the line of Lynn Lanid, actually, this demonstrates that Draft was the best thing that ever happened to him. Wishes, I want to play this more. I mean, this felt so Star Wars, Rich. So, take what you like in terms of the hack for that, but I think it felt so Star Wars.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'm really happy.
I'll go next. So as far as wishes, other than, like they were saying before, it would be great to have more sessions. I wish, so as far as the system goes, I agree with Alan. He said that this feels a lot more Star Trek, and I played in the last Star Wars Burned Over. I'm sorry, and this feels a lot more Star Wars. And it fits really, really well. The only thing, and I think I said this, last month as well, there's a lot of moving stuff in this. And, I don't know that you could simplify it. I don't know that you could narrow it down, but there seems to be, if you see any ways to like make things, it seemed like there were always a lot of moves. There's a lot of vehicle moves. There's a lot of different things. And I like those moving parts, but it requires a certain amount of system mastery.
Yeah.
So if you were running this, for 3 sessions or 4 sessions, maybe you don't engage some of the other mechanics. But if you're running it for more than that, then you engage everything.
Yeah. I think that's the classic Apocalypse World thing, is like, it's not a one-shot kind of game. It really doesn't. It hits its stride at like 6, and
really as far as stars, everyone was great. I to be honest, I want to see more from all of these characters, especially Lynn. I want to see more of his adventures throughout the galaxy to find Cara Dune, his lost cat. And I think that's my headcanon, is like, now it's the adventures of Lynn going forward. Everyone was great.
Agreed. What about you, Cody?
Right. For my wish, I'll echo everything else. I want to play this game so much, Rich. It's absurd how good everything felt. And it leads into like one of the stars too, which I want to say, you did such an amazing job running this game through these 3 sessions, because as I was thinking about it today.
Oh no, dang it, Cody.
Well, each propelled this each session. I think the first propelled by my start of session. Oh no! Oh god! Stable. Well, maybe it's working. It was propelled, and then the middle session was propelled by Valron and Draft wanting to get their bounty. And then this third session was all about Soren and getting that kind of awesome emotional climax with them. But I love that throughout all 3 of them, Draft was the B story driving everything forward. Like, so everybody got their hand on the ball to make the plot happen, which was amazing. And so that you were able to take these moves and these bad rolls, like, oh, I rolled poorly. Oh, okay, well, now they're going to take over your ship. Like, you did such an amazing job taking these roles and creating an incredibly compelling story. I mean, when all this started falling out, that Draft had this relationship with the dolls, I was just like losing my mind. So that's one really gigantic, huge, super, giant star. For the second star, man, Alan, you devious bastard. Your characters are so good, and the way you would zig and zag, and we think you're leaving us, and then you come back. You really, you had just an incredible thought behind that character and things he was doing, even when no one knew what it was going to be. You really saw another way through it. So yeah, I just can't say enough good things about this experience. I loved playing with you guys. Again, just let's same time tomorrow. Let's get it done. I'm here.
That was a really, really great ride. It's funny because like there's a part of me that says I'm so happy about Star Wars now that we're past the Skywalker saga and we can see things like Mandalorian, and we could possibly see an Obi-Wan, so we can see all these other things. But boy, this thing got really hot when Droff and Soren's connections were brought to the fore, when the connection that it was kind of like a promise that was out there, but we find out about Soren's sister, who was also the child of the person that Valrin had turned in. Like, I was really loving seeing that trapezoid kind of just grind in it. Those family connections. There were all of my rolling eyes at some of the things that were brought in the prequels. It's like, yeah, that's pretty great. The dolls, like, man, it's a thing. So I really enjoyed, Stephen, as always. You're great. I love the connection. I love how we got to see things with Tebby and see Valrin and their relationship, and how it was just such a weird, odd couple, uneven relationship. And I did not see that coming until the hard move was there, and I had to take it. So I'm glad that you followed up on it in epilogue too, Stephen. That was great.
I thought it was great. It was fantastic.
Cody, Lynn was hilarious. He was so fun. I love he was that beat of just awkwardness that it really permeates Star Wars. Like, there's so many characters that are there and exist to add a little bit of levity to all the gravity of this going on, but then you would rise to the occasion. Occasionally you would just like bring in these really, really dramatic hooks and like literally laid out the path. Like, this is a thing that you're there for, and you did this perfect path. Like, that moment happened. It was super duper cool. Sabine playing a Jedi, I'm just not I'm not the biggest fan of Jedi. Like, I'm a Han Solo kind of guy, but like, that was good. That was real good. I loved your portrayal of Soren as a person who's raised on the myths of the Jedi and has never seen it tarnished, and was just going to pull people along. And I loved that. I loved that you won out with Esley. We let the dice tell us that was going to happen, and it did. And that was wonderful. And Alan as Droff you were the best scoundrel. Such a good size, like, so scoundrelly, even the last minute. That was so funny. Your epilogue still kills me. Cool. Well, thank you all so much for giving this a shot. It feels like every session was so jam-packed. It was like more than 3. It was like, I can't believe this was only 3 sessions, right? But it really was. So thank you all so much for playing it and your feedback and your heart. And we will bring the live stream. Yes?
We're still live, right?
We're still live. I'm about to click the button.
Okay.
And we will no longer be. Thanks, everyone.